Greetings, traveler. You've just crash landed on the Mikey and Me podcast. But fear not, for this is no mistake, no fault in the stars, no glitch in the matrix. No, I'm afraid this has all been planned, predetermined by powers known not to us. But fear not, for you're among friends. So pull up the chair and join us as we find our way together. It's a cool, crisp night here in Texas, 91 degrees. So if you're out and about, get a jacket, because you'll need it.
Yeah.
On Monday morning, we're going to be looking at 76 for the low tomorrow morning. So when you're listening to this, if you're an early bird out there, you might be enjoying this on a cool morning. But then it'll heat on up to about
that's
your ass
that's
98.
Probably the average of what it gets down to at night whenever it's around 100 during the day.
Yep.
But
and we love our
we'll talk about it. We'll say it like it's a unique occurrence for tomorrow. Mikey?
Yep, I'm sorry. But we got an interesting. We have a great episode today.
Oh yes,
Monday afternoon, whenever this is.
All the hard work
pays
off.
And you hear it. But we're here with we're gonna be conducting an interview shortly with another member of the Matthew family. That's the official.
Another member of the Matthew Club as well.
The Matthew Club. That's true. He's
And
we'll
the Chris Club. Mikey, Matthew, he checks a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
A lot of boxes.
Absolutely.
The screaming to be checked. Well,
so we've interviewed his mother. We've interviewed his brother. Now we're going to hear what shit he has to say. Because they were putting out a lot of allegations, but it all is going to be cleared up tonight.
About me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you need to listen, Matthew.
That's why you should have listened.
And I'm trying to tell you.
Set the record straight.
Yeah, we'll be doing that.
All right, bet I got you.
So.
I will say it's very interesting that we're doing all the relatives, but I can't wait till we get the psychic on and have a seance with the dead relatives that he has. Okay? I think that's going to be the episode.
I feel like you being in Louisiana, like you could find some
that
voodoo person.
Voodoo
I feel like
Mama
your neighbor
Juju down the
probably be
street.
somebody.
Yeah,
there we
dude.
go.
I feel like whoever that would be would also like have a cooking podcast. I feel like everybody in Louisiana.
Oh yeah.
Just always.
Yeah, teach how to make a jambalaya and then how to talk to your dead grandpa.
The person who talks to your dead grandpa can definitely make like crawfish etouffee. Like,
I want you to talk to my dead grandpa and ask him a recipe that only he knows.
Don't they call it spirit cooking? Nah, I'm just kidding. That's a whole weird thing.
Whoa,
that's a whole weird thing.
Wait, that's too far.
That's a whole weird. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I think it's
is that thing people. Backwards?
What thing? Oh, what?
It is. How did that even happen? Yeah. Mikey, you can just you don't need to do that. You can just rotate this. No, just turn it.
Oh shit! I'm like, how does
Mikey, you've done this before.
No, I didn't know it rotated.
Oh.
I never try and fuck with it.
I could see the gears turning in your brain.
Yeah,
right
I'm like, wait a minute. I never mess with I'll just have. I want to say this.
That's
every week
funny.
I come over here, this boom is in a different spot.
So
I got to retighten it.
I should really check the audio to see how that intro sounded.
Oh, I think it sounded fine. You could check it.
Fine here, at least.
I think.
Yeah, no, I could hear you well.
Yeah,
So.
The audio,
see, if
audio
not-
was coming in good here.
Yeah.
So maybe we learned something about it not being that important. Which direction it is.
Yeah, I guess. But no, I do sound much better now. I feel like
that was a good time.
Yeah, that was a good time.
That was the most fun I've had in a long
Jeff,
time.
that looks great back there.
I'm about to say, look
hope
at the
you
UFO
don't get
tonight.
Dude, the UFO is
Look
a
at the
different
UFO
color.
tonight.
The beam is a
Changed
different
colors,
color.
dude.
The beam, though.
Dude,
God.
I'm seeing that on the back of our shirt.
I'm just hoping
just like that.
Picture looks alive, man.
I'm seeing that being a small part,
Yep.
just like that on the back of the shirt.
I probably
Makes
would
that part
pay like
easy.
$100 for like a LED version of that poster.
Dude, make it 50 and you got a
That'd be
deal.
sick.
Facts.
Oh
Get a
shit!
bag of Doritos.
Damn it, Mikey,
If
I
you
went
throw
down
a bag
again.
of-
I'm
if
supposed
you-
to
if you
always
throw
go
a
higher
bag
on
of
the
Doritos
haggling.
I mean, that's gonna sweeten the pot of any deal.
Yep.
But all right, so we're gonna go ahead. We're
How about a
upon
bag
the
of
year-
guacamole sun chips or
Oh.
Doritos?
I
The
bet
ones
those
they
aren't
don't make
bad.
anymore.
This sounds
You remember
decent.
the old? I was watching a movie the other day and I saw they had an old Doritos bag in it. Man, they were boring.
I'm gonna say, connected to what Jeff
Yeah,
just
they
said
were
about
boring.
sun chips. I happen to have a weird connection. That small little elementary school that Jay, Brandon, and Jonathan and I went to.
Mm-hmm.
We had a principal there that used to work for Frito-Lay, and he was apparently a part of the team or whatever that like discovered or made the original sun chip recipe.
Really?
Yeah. It sounded absurd, but like it was true. Like he had like a plaque from where he worked there. So I don't know how he went from that to being the principal at a very small, obscure private school that has like for 4th, 5th, and 6th combined. So who knows? That's what's interesting.
Yeah,
now that I'm older, thinking like, how did he go? Why? So there's probably any number of reasons. Yeah, unless he was retired and bored, and he was just able to parlay all that into just walking up.
He got
somewhere.
kicked out of the shit business.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that he's thinking they had to get rid of him.
All right.
And probably cut him a check.
He was a double dipper. That's what it was.
Double dipper. Yeah, no, he's probably cooking the books or something.
Can't have you affiliated with Frito-Lay.
Dr. Wilson. Professor Wilson.
Professor
He was
Doctor.
a doctor working at.
He was a doctor. He had a PhD. That was the thing. And so I'm just curious.
So
he had to
I'm
be
more
either gotten
curious
bored
why he was in Frito-Lay, being a fucking doctor.
No, because he was if you're working on the basically like a scientist R&D for them, I'm sure that they made really good money.
Okay, now I am back to how the fuck he ended up being your principal.
Yeah, I get. So I just think maybe he had a connection to the church and was almost like doing a favor.
Maybe he didn't like the way. The thing just fell over a little bit. Push that back up.
It totally did.
I think the plug pushed push it back that way. No, don't twist it. Just push the whole boom back up.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, you're good.
It's,
no,
push. There you
it's
go.
not good. I don't see Matt.
There it is. Yeah.
There you go. Now I can get the corner.
Yeah.
If he just sits a little close to the desk, but he's
no. I think the reason that you was probably your professor is he probably didn't like the way the
my principal.
No, your principal. Sorry,
he was in charge of all of our lives.
He probably didn't like the way the chip game was
What
going.
else did he touch?
The chip game had probably changed.
I don't
up
need
since the
this
time he
stress
got
in my
in
life.
it.
I can just go oversee
he
a bunch
was
of
probably
children
back
at a
whenever I
Christian
got
school.
into game. Back when I got into
time
chip game,
stress.
the chip game was
Dude.
it was chill and it wasn't a bad thing. But now it's pretty
Chip
nasty.
game, high stress makes me
Yeah,
think
dude.
of a card game makes me think of a movie that might end up being on my list.
Oh, speaking
Have we
of
considered he was a corporate spy?
We'll have to ask Brandon about this because Brandon probably remembers
probably
a
knows
lot more
everything
than I do.
about that.
His
Oh, yeah,
memory,
that
yeah,
fool
he is
was,
going to remember
this
like
and that.
exactly the layout
Yeah.
of his office and things
Brandon-
like that.
Yeah.
What that cologne he was wearing?
For that impression I just did of Brandon, he's gonna bust my ass for. He's gonna text me.
Yeah, what was that impression?
He's gonna be like,
What
"Oh
did
yeah,
you just do?
that's how I sound."
Yep,
That's
exactly what I say. It's like that's how I sound.
Oh yeah, fool. We making jokes now.
Like no, this is me doing a me.
No, we love Brandon. I do.
We do.
He was texting me the other day about some stuff, and it was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, calling you out on your Chipotle bullshit.
Yep,
So
what was
let's
that?
2021.
Chris got Chipotle today, came home with it, and it pissed me it downright
Dude,
pissed me off.
you're
And
on
I
a little
looked at him-
island here.
I looked at
A
him.
little
and I was
island
like,
of
"You know
angry
what,
people
buddy?"
that won't go to Chipotle
I was
anymore.
like, you know what, buddy? All right, that's good.
Qdoba for life, dude.
Yeah, absolutely, Jeff.
Dude.
Thank you. Represent. All right, so we're just going to get into these movies. We're on the
2021.
year of 2021.
2020.
A little bit better than last year, right?
Again, with this year, I don't think I need to go first.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to. I think I
You know,
just
maybe
need to
you'll
go
just
last.
oversee this from now on.
No, yeah, maybe.
I thought you
Yeah,
liked
while
the
me and
movies.
Matt just clean
I
up all the good
Look,
shit.
look. I'm feeling like we're kind of struggling in these last year. 2020 was
Let me
really
tell you the
bad.
truth,
Yeah,
Mikey. Don't me
abysmal.
tell you what a prepared professional does?
Oh, prepare for what? Watches
You know-
all the movies?
No, you have a week, but
Yeah,
on Monday
I
to see
know.
what came out. Maybe there's some you didn't see, and you could have actually put a little blood, salt, and tears. It's okay though, Mikey.
You know what's interesting though, because 2020 was so like didn't have very much.
Yeah, it's like shut
we
down.
had like the most diverse like movies last week. Like I think we've ever had. Really.
That dude, it's true. Like I think that was like I was thinking it was a weird plus, a weird benefit because all these weird things like fried berry, I wouldn't have given a crap about, but it's
Also,
it is
2020 was just a weird time too. Maybe you were just into fried berry because of what.
yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I would have
checked.
checked out fried berry no matter what. That's
Fucking fried berry.
I know. I was watching last week's episode and you see it and you're just like, what the?
Yeah, I was
fuck?
listening to it while I was working. And then
I
was
know. I'm
hearing-
looking at it. I'm
I
like,
hear
dang,
Jeff,
dude. Yeah, fried berry.
Yeah,
That's
Jeff was like,
that's
"What is happening right here now?"
Whenever they're pregnant chick in the
Oh,
you're like,
yeah.
hold on,
Yes,
okay.
dude. I'm like, what is going on?
You're like,
And then that's when I told you on that one. I was like, "Don't you remember we're recommending movies for people?"
yeah,
to
I'm like,
watch?
yeah, not for
Watch.
everybody.
You're like, yeah, maybe not this one.
Yeah, this
This
is
one, maybe not everybody should watch
Yeah.
this one. Oh man, that's great.
All
All
right.
right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it off to Jeff. I mean, you're looking good. Let's give it to Jeff. We want to give it to Jeff. I like
All
giving
right.
it.
Man, can I start off with some movies that I hope maybe at the end, if they aren't getting named, some movies that I didn't see that I've
Okay.
heard good things about and kind of just wanted to like
I
have
like
a
that.
conversation
Let's
about.
hear it.
Yeah, I might have some input
but-
for him because
We'll do it after, just in case they don't get talked about here. But my last one, my number 10, it's a tie. I couldn't pick one of them not to put in here. They're both kids movies.
Oh,
so like
I bet
I'm kind
I know-
of justifying it with that.
I know at least one of them.
One's an animated film with Danny McBride, and it's like a great like family comedy on Netflix called Mitchell's versus the Machines.
Okay.
It's kind of a soft spot for me. Me and my daughter like it.
Okay.
But there's another one that came out during Christmas time that I kind of got slept on. Like not a lot of people have seen it, and I kind of wanted to talk about it. It's called 8-Bit Christmas. It's narrated by Neil Patrick Harris,
Yes.
but it's basically
It's
like
really
the
good.
80s or the 90s version of A Christmas Story, and instead of like a red BB or the Red Ryder BB gun, it's a Nintendo system.
Yeah.
Like the
I
quest to
remember-
get
I
that
remember
for
that
Christmas.
coming out,
Dude,
it being
it's
really
freaking
cool.
hilarious, man, and it kind of like hits home more than the Christmas Story does, even though that one's a classic.
Yeah,
but I like to
but this for
like
us,
every
it's, like,
Christmas
personal,
now
wow.
since 2021, since I watched it, I
You've
put it
watched it?
on
That's
literally
awesome, dude.
after A Christmas Story.
Because I remember I read a lot about it, but I never
dude.
actually sat through it. So that's
Okay.
great because I love having
Yeah.
like,
Feel good.
legit Christmas movies that
Yeah.
aren't, it's like, okay, this is the classics, but I'm all about like the new classics, you know?
recycled.
Yeah, and
stuff.
it's also like a throwback to like the group kids just running around town like with their bikes and stuff, just do like like that kind of feel too, kind of like the Goonies or
Yeah,
something like that.
kind of like super bad. Was it Super Bad Times? No, what was that?
Yeah, that was what? That was
The movie that I actually just watched that like a week ago.
yeah with the kids.
Yeah.
The
There's right on the back. Yeah, it's
what'd
like in
you
the
think of
90s.
it?
We can let him go because yes,
No,
good.
Did you watch it?
You good?
It was
Okay.
good. No, it was. Yeah, I went down a rabbit hole on some things because it's really good.
Okay.
And the rabbit hole might people not like about it or things
get-
because it might be either way. If things might
Might
be
be a
true
little
what was happening because
Yeah.
there's a lot of interpretations with the girl
Oh.
and the part she might have actually played, and I think it's all true.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really actually fascinating. But yeah,
No. Yeah. Great. Yeah, I'd love to hear about that. Continue, Jeffrey. Carry
All
on,
right,
my
so
boy.
what would act as my number 9? All right, because those were a tie for 10. The Power of the Dog, another Netflix movie starring Benedict Cumberbatch.
yeah.
And
Benedict.
dude, one of my all-time I love fucking this guy, Jesse Plemons.
You
is
love
in
what
that
Yes,
movie.
Jesse Plemons. He's North Dallas own. He went to high school in Richardson.
Oh,
And his
okay.
wife, Kirsten Dunst, is in it as well, and she
Yeah.
was really great in it.
Yeah, they met on Fargo when they did that one season together. Actually,
But the guy who steals the, I think isn't Paul Dano in it as well? But
if it was
the
it was
guy
a
who
small
steals
role.
the scene is Cody Smith McPhee, that the
Yes.
young kid.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Basically,
steals
yeah,
the whole
her-
movie.
her kid
And I don't
did.
want to give anything away, but
yeah,
yeah, it's definitely worth a watch.
yeah.
You
no,
don't see
I
a
saw
lot
that
of
one.
what's gonna happen coming.
Yeah, there was a lot of Oscar nominations too. And it was-
Power of the Dog.
Yeah, Power of the Dog. It was good. Jane Campion. That was the director. She's like from New Zealand too. It's interesting.
What else has she directed?
I know she did the piano. She did like a lot of kind of weird psychological like dramas, like period piece dramas. I'm trying to think what else, but yeah, it's yeah. If you've seen some of her other films, it'd be like she did a version of that. It was very interesting. It was very interesting. It was good. It was good. Like it was very unique. Such a unique movie.
All right, so my next one, number 8, is going to be Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Ooh.
The first Marvel movie on here.
Okay.
Obviously, from our past ones, I'm a big Marvel fan, but this one, this is like the post Endgame stuff, so like
Yeah.
people are starting to lose hope. Some of these movies actually really fucking suck, but this
Yeah.
one actually stands out. This one was good. It had great action in it. It was funny. I kind of came out like a coming out party for Simu Lee
Yes.
or Simu Liu, whichever one it is, and like Aquafina's in it, who's pretty fucking funny.
Yep.
But overall, I mean, it was a good movie. Like I enjoyed it like from beginning to end.
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell you, but I imagine
Yeah.
it probably was good.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and this is unique thoughts, is because it was like the first. The actors, Asian American. It's great, but it's like, okay, Marvel's doing characters and having a movie based around. They're all like happen to be white guys. This is how super. I'm not saying anything wrong, but so this is interesting because they gave like a big, huge movie to somebody who doesn't have like a proven name. So it's a big risk, but it's a risk they had to take.
Yeah.
But it paid off. Like he did really good and was
Nice.
done executed well.
He was also great in Barbie.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, he's been in a handful of things now.
I don't know what
He's been-
that is.
yeah. But yeah, that's all I'll say. It's unique. It's
know
unique
what that
because where Marvel was and what they did, and it was like a huge transition. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah, honestly, and they tried it with a couple other avenues, and it didn't really.
Yeah,
land,
no, this
but
is
it
like one
landed
of
well.
most that were bad.
Mhm.
This was like one of the few, like, okay, that stood out as a good one. Yeah.
Okay.
Like he's someone that could be like a good second or third among like the new Avengers, I think.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Mikey's like, all right, I'll give about superheroes.
Whatever,
Hey, look,
whatever.
I'm just telling you, buddy. I'm just saying they're not that super to me. I think I can whoop half their asses.
All right,
Not that super.
fuck you. Number 7, an Adam McKay movie starring
yep.
Leonardo
It's on my
DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence. Don't Look Up.
Yeah.
About an asteroid coming to Earth that nobody
Yes.
cares about because of all the media and all the fake news coming in saying
Dude.
nothing's happening. And then
Yes.
the richest guy in the world doesn't really like. he wants to
Dude,
have
that
Marvel-
movie is non-stop.
Before we go
blast, man.
further, the reason I saw that movie was because of Matt. Him and Steph came over and
Around
they were
Christmas,
like,
too, it was great.
And Matt was
Yeah.
like, dude, as soon as he got there, he started talking about the movie, and then we were all just kind of chilling and not really doing.
And it was
much,
the
and he
bootleg
was like-
before it even hit Netflix. There
Yeah.
was like a bootleg that you were able to get. That
And
was
he-
really crappy, but I watched it so
And
many
he
times.
ended up being like, dude, I'll put it on right now.
Yeah.
And like we like put it on, and it was it was awesome. Like it was a great because I think by that point,
Jonah Hill was hilarious in that movie.
Yeah, no, that was an amazing.
It's like, yep, that Molly's kicking and timed it so perfect.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Do we want to go ahead and play the trailer for it now? I mean, it's.
I mean, that's people. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean,
We can
it
go
was
ahead and
on
just play it
Netflix,
now.
yeah.
I mean, it's going to be on.
Yeah.
It's on my list,
Dude,
so
dude. So
all three of us
I laughed
are
the
recommended this
whole
movie.
way.
So, yeah, it's fantastic.
yeah, so this is
Honestly, it's something I need to go back to.
This is not real.
It's funny.
This is not real. This is not real. This isn't happening. Kate, tell me this isn't really happening.
I hear there's something you don't like the looks of.
We discovered a very large comet.
Oh, good for you.
It's headed directly towards Earth.
This comet is what we call a planet killer.
At this exact moment, I say we sit tight and assess.
Sit tight and assess,
Sit tight.
and then assess. The sit tight part comes first, then you gotta digest it. That's the assessment period.
it's
this is the worst news in the history of humanity. He just blew us off.
What are we gonna do? We have to release the information.
the general with the chips. Like he's like, he charged you for those, and like they're free.
Yes.
In space.
How big is this thing, though? Like, can it destroy my ex-wife's house? Is that possible?
There's a 100% chance that we're all going to die.
Like, we don't like her. We don't want to have her back. It's like so reflect. It's like just the most like very biting just commentary on society. It's so spot on
Dude,
though.
Tyler Perry was actually really good in it too.
Dude, yeah, it's so spot on about how stupid society is and culture.
This comet contains
It's also
$30
very
trillion
scary.
worth of material.
What do trillions of dollars matter if we're all gonna die?
You guys discovered a comet? I have a tattoo of a shooting
Yeah,
star
Ron
on it.
Perlman was
Oh, that's
one
terrific.
astronaut that got sent up first. He's like,
Oh, yeah.
all the Indians and those other Indians. He's like, he's from a different time.
You know that girl from live TV said we're all gonna die?
No.
Yeah, there he is, Ron
Yeah.
Perlman.
Giant comet hurling its way towards Earth. Can you see it?
I can't. My head is in a bag.
I did have the FBI put that bag over your head. They don't do that. The CIA does, but I made them do it.
You know, I had a feeling.
It's a good feeling because that is what I did, and it was very funny and cool.
Dude.
All right, great recommendation by
Yeah,
Jeff.
we might as well say that's
that's
a 3.
It's on. No, I know. Yeah, it's on all of ours.
And that, I laughed. Seriously, that's honestly like an all-time comedy.
Watching
for me.
that movie with you was similar to watching Christmas Vacation with my dad.
Yeah, dude, I was on that
you were
level.
like the whole time you were pretty much you knew
I
what
was
they
rolling
were saying.
too.
you like knew what they were gonna say, and so
I'd
you
already
were starting
memorized
to,
it.
like, yeah,
That's
you were
it's
starting to
ridiculous.
laugh, like you were already like, and
Yeah.
then the scene would happen, and you start cracking up.
I was like the parent or just anyone who knows it's.
Yep.
It literally just came out, and I watched it so many times before I came over. It's ridiculous.
All right, what else? Is that it?
That was it.
All right,
for
that was it.
for that movie.
Yeah.
I think we're at what?
It's like
number
I just
6?
started, Mikey.
Oh, my bad.
You fucking dick.
Yeah.
Number 6, yeah. This is an Edgar Wright movie. Also did another one of my favorites, Baby Driver.
Oh yes, that was the other. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Last Night in Soho. It's a psychological horror with Anya Taylor-Joy.
Can you play a trailer for this?
Yeah, actually, you might want to. It's pretty interesting.
Because it sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy plays like a. You'll have to see it. She plays like a ghost, like haunting a girl who's living where she used to live in like Paris or London or something like that. I think it's London. Yeah. But it's got a great twist to it. It's directed really well.
Yeah, I feel like it was a different style for Edgar. I mean, it's still him, but it was
Yeah,
cool.
no,
It just seemed like a
exactly.
departure, and it was cool because you want to see directors step outside of all the familiar territory. And I thought this was like a great example of that.
No, for him, it was definitely an accomplishment. It just, yeah, like you said, it still felt like him in scenes,
is great.
but it was
That's-
definitely
but
like a
that's the
whole
beauty,
different
right?
genre that he tackled.
Yeah, to where you have your own voice and it can be heard across any genre. Which is
Kind of like, man, he's like, you know how Ron Howard can basically make any type of movie and we're
Yeah.
just on board with
and,
it.
and
It's a lot-
Danny
it's a lot
Boyle's
like
another
that.
one.
Yeah, Danny Boyle's a
it's
great
any
example.
genre, and he's like
Dude,
done them all.
Sunshine, right?
Dude, Sunshine, yeah, 28
God
days.
damn.
I love Sunshine. And Train Spot, like Slumdog
Oh,
Millionaire,
yeah.
he literally just
That's what I mean.
in the-
From Slumdog Millionaire to fucking Train Spot. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, Edgar Wright's definitely that type of director.
Yeah.
I think.
I can see people, places, things others can't.
Yeah, Matt Smith is in it too.
Oh yeah, it's great.
He's really good in it.
One of
You
the
say Mike
doctors.
Smith?
Yeah.
Matt-
Were you
Matt-
Doctor Who, and are you on the Enter the Dragons or something? No, the new
Huh?
season of Dragons.
Who?
It's called the
Oh.
show Dragons. If I talk about it.
Yeah, I get the incest show.
Not as much incest on this, but there was in the beginning of the
that a
first
bad
season.
thing, or what?
It's like all just the foundation.
Well,
of
it's
the show
it's
is
just built
incest.
into
Were you
their history.
disappointed that there was less? It's like there wasn't as much incest as there
Yeah, I
this
love that.
one.
I love how everyone's point is like that's what it was like.
And
back
it's
then,
so-
right?
it's
And I'm like,
so
yeah, that's what it was
close-minded.
like when the dragons were flying.
yeah, yeah. Whenever White Walkers were a threat.
Yeah, exactly. We put in White Walkers and zombies, but we could not take out the incest.
Yeah. I'm just almost surprised. Well, if they were done now, they'd definitely make sure to have incest of the same sex. Because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
old. That's
Oh,
old
yeah.
school
Yeah.
That's
heterosexual
what we need.
incest.
Yeah, they
Come
gotta
on,
have some-
that's not progressive,
Yeah.
buddy. That's not culture. The world we live in, based on what I see,
We want
there be brothers banging. That's all I gotta say.
Cousin
brothers banging. Oh gosh.
We should keep going. We should get going quickly.
Yeah, let's keep this moving.
Hollywood's like, nah, we can't do that. It's a little too on the nose for us.
Dude, yeah. A little too on the nose.
Yeah.
It's a little too close to the heart.
All right. Let's see. 1, 2. Yeah, top 5. Man, and this one's kind of like it's bittersweet because it's such a great movie, but all we remember from it is Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. King Richard, the one where he plays Venus
Serena, the
and
Williams
Serena's
sisters.
father.
Oh,
Man,
yeah, that's right.
and maybe it's just because I'm a father of 2 daughters, but the movie's great. He's great in it. Like he really is. Like the
He was
story's
good.
great. Yeah, and then the Oscars happened that year.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
I
Yeah,
get it.
that did ruin it.
It did.
Yeah, if you
Poor
want to
guy.
derail your career, just you slap or punch somebody almost on live television in the biggest event you could think to do it.
Literally between a rock and a hard place.
Literally.
Honestly, kind of worth it though.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was
Like,
great
but
for
no,
the observer.
Well, I'm pretty sure, wasn't it from like an old movie? That whole thing, literally, like the whole dialogue and everything that happened was that it was all from. I'm not even kidding. Have y'all not seen
Conspiracy theory, Mikey?
No, look
Well,
it
hey,
up,
dude,
like-
you already told the viewers this isn't a glitch in the Matrix. Come on,
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
let's
it's
pulling
not.
at that.
All right, you could be looking that up.
thread.
I'll look
because
it up and see
I'll
if
find-
I
Yeah,
can
Jamie,
give you something to-
can you pull that up?
I'll pull that up.
Mikey's Jamie tonight.
I don't even think he really derailed his career. It's been
I mean,
going
it
for-
did because it did in the fact that movies I know that were made. He was at least in one movie I think that was like done production. It's either still on the shelf, or they might not even end up releasing
No, I
it.
got that, but in order to derail your
Okay,
career,
Matt.
you
Sorry,
have to be
derail.
middle
I'll
of it.
say that it was a serious sidestep. That no, I believe he recovers, but you can be derailed and then re-railed. He can re-rail his
Whoa,
career.
well, yeah.
I think he will. I think Will Smith's a likable
He's a little bit,
enough
yeah.
guy.
He's too likable, and now people just gonna start thinking his wife is crazy because, based on everything I know,
I think,
she's crazy.
yeah. In the public eye, she's the one that really loses anything. But like, it's not like her.
Like
career
that's
was
a
going
man
anywhere.
doing a huge defensive action for her. So that was for her. So he only did that, however you look at it, because it mattered. It was important that he do that for
A
her.
respect thing.
And any woman to feel like you need to do that in like that scenario, you know that if she needs that much like special attention, like I don't know, but hey, maybe it makes their life maybe scared and their sex is great because he's always afraid. I don't know.
No, they're not having sex. They're in that weird situation where they're just like together.
In the
And it's
same
great
house
that
in
we
different
know
rooms.
and that we know enough to know these things. That's
Exactly.
the world. It's fascinating.
It's important.
It is-
and
it
that's
is
what
important.
and this is what we remember about King Richard.
And this is what's important about King Richard, that we have an idea about the actor who played him and his wife's actual sex life. What's next? And Mikey's trying to figure out the slap.
No,
This
I
is
see
a-
it right here, but
This is an interesting one, and the second of 3 of comic book movies on my 2021. But this is a redo of a film that came out not too long before this one. I think 2019, maybe. This is The Suicide Squad
Yes.
with Idris Elba, who was fucking great as the lead. But
You
the
haven't
thing
seen
it
that,
really
Matthew?
gave us.
Oh, you have? Okay, about to say. Sorry. I was like, what? You had to have seen that. You're good.
It gave us Taika Waititi as the original rat catcher, which I loved. It killed Pete Davidson in the first like 5 minutes,
Dude,
which
that
is
was
just
one of my
amazing.
favorite. Yeah.
Margot Robbie. I mean, this is what I do like about the new generation, where like they're not like, especially in the Marvel, where they're just recasting with like.
Well, it's because they gave
different
James Gunn
dimensions and
control.
stuff.
The director
Yeah,
who did
but-
that. They gave him control, which is smart for DC.
But yeah, so they didn't like shit on and just redo the entire thing. Like they kept Margot Robbie, who was just fucking amazing.
Which is great,
They
yeah.
literally- And if I mean, I'm gonna spoil it, but they kill off anybody else who was in that original.
Outside of Rick Flag,
squad
at
in the
least
first
like
movie.
potentially
The first
towards
minutes
the
of the
end.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rick Flag still had a big part up until like that fight with him and Peacemaker is one of the best parts of the movie for me. When Rick-
And that's what I was gonna say. The thing it gave us was fucking John Cena
Yeah,
as
dude.
Peacemaker, which became a fucking
dude,
a great show.
You haven't
on
seen the entire
HBO
movie?
as well.
I didn't see John Cena in the entire movie.
in
He's
the
Peacemaker.
Suicide Squad.
Oh, that just went right over your head.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Right over your head.
yes, let's go.
I can't.
That went right
you
over your
can't
head.
see me.
Yeah, I know what's up. No, you can talk in the mic though,
also-
man. I couldn't hear you at first. It threw me off.
Fucking Sylvester Stallone as King Shark. Pretty
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And that's just
But
James Gunn. Like, I can make whatever movie I want. I'm gonna pick a character that's almost impossible to actually try and put in a movie and make him a part of it. It's great.
But I think the one who really stole the show here, and I need to look at his
Darren
name, 'cause
Dalmatian, whatever. Polka
yes,
dot. Yes.
the polka
He was
dot
the
man.
one Late Night with the Devil. That actor.
Yes.
We love him.
Darren Dash to Lemaine or something really weird.
Yeah, he was in Prisoners.
Dacolamanian or something like that.
Yeah.
It looks like Dalmatian almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in Prisoners, The Dark Knight.
Look at
All
that.
good stuff.
I can read the
Michael
minds.
Rooker as Savant, the guy who ran away in the beginning, and Nathan Fillion.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty good too.
Yeah, Mike Rooker's like a mainstay in all James Gunn's movies too, like Guardians of the Galaxies and all of those.
Yes, he's awesome in Guardians.
Yeah, and Nathan Fillion, that's why he was in there because he's friends with James Gunn. Like James Gunn's such a smart move. Yeah.
Okay, carry on.
All right, so the next one might be a little controversial because it was supposed to be a very big movie, or a lot of people thought it was going to be one thing, and it kind of wasn't. But I loved it. I thought it was honestly, it's in my top 3. It's one of my favorite movies. Nightmare Alley.
Oh, Guillermo del Toro.
Yes. A lot of people on his list like always put that movie towards the bottom of his list of all of his movies, but honestly, like I love it. It's kind of like my favorite movie of his. I like the way it's done. I like the themes that they touch on. The ending is fucking great. Bradley Cooper is like super fucking underrated and really gets to kind of like show some depth in that one. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was Guillermo del Toro, kind of a story that's more unique, but yeah, it was still really good.
Yeah, it's all. I mean, it's not really like the type of stories that he tells, but it definitely has like the same themes and stuff. It
Exactly,
feels like
like
that.
the world building and subtleties. There wasn't like any crazy explosiveness to it, but it was a good slow burn with his like whole visual stamp.
And I love a good slow burn. I think it paid off, at least for me.
Like a good herpy. Watch out, dog.
All right, number 2 is going to be Judas and the Black Messiah.
Oh, Lakeith Stanfield? No. Yes, it was.
Yes.
I haven't
and
seen
that's
this.
honestly, it's the reason, to be honest, that I put it up there. So I like Lakeith Stanfield's amazing in it.
Yeah, I never saw this. I just knew that he was in it.
And what's his name? Daniel Kaluuya or something like that?
Yeah, Daniel Kaluuya.
Daniel Clay Lewis.
Daniel Kaluuya, I think.
Daniel Craig.
Kaluuya.
Oh,
Dan Craig.
The guy from Get Out.
Yes.
Yeah, he's great in it.
He was great.
Yeah.
Sicario is really what made me recognize that guy.
Also, you know who's in it? Jesse Plemons.
North Texas Zone. I'm gonna claim him.
Yeah. And then number one.
And
this is a straight movie for the fans. So being a huge fan, yeah, it's a fan service movie.
Then it's got to be starts with an S.
It does start with an S.
Yep.
Yeah, Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Dude, it's a really good movie.
It's my number one. It's so good. You got Toby, amazing. You got Andrew, you got Tom, you got them all.
Yeah,
great.
This was
awesome.
actually like, it transcends all. It's doing something unique and special. So it's like, just like Deadpool and Wolverine is like
it started
a testament.
that.
It's kind of like something you can show the family, but it really connects worlds and actors and just. It's great, and it's not like meta humor, but it's like basically meta.
Like, dude,
almost.
I'm a huge wrestling fan, and one of the main rules is like everything fucking matters.
Stardust is in it.
That match that happened 2 or 3 months ago, where the guy looked at the guy the certain way, and like now they're telling that story later. Like, everything matters. Like, I love that about the new comic books, because like just like back in the day. Batman had different versions of himself, and Bruce Wayne kind of always looked a little bit different. Or in Spider-Man's case, like Miles Morales played him. Different people actually did play him, so it's not that far-fetched to have different versions of Peter Parker.
It really isn't. Like it's it's truer to the comic. Like they're actually making like what the comics have been.
Yeah, and Into the Spider-Verse probably did it better,
Oh,
but
yeah.
this one, because it had Toby in it, man, like it was great. And honestly, dude, Andrew Garfield is the best of the three. He just never got the best best
The writers,
franchise out of all of them. Yeah.
In that, and I'm not a big fan of his iterations, just the comics of that version of Spider-Man. Not like he did a great job, but just like that Spider-Man. There's like the kind of more modern spin on him. Modern
Yeah, it's kind
for
of like the 90s cartoon
90s,
version.
yeah. So it's cool, yeah.
That's what I mean. He didn't really get the best, like the college grown
Yeah,
up.
and he didn't even get a trilogy because they stopped making him after
fucking
2.
Paul Giamatti played fucking Metal Rhinoceros.
Dude, Paul Giamatti, he's a scene stealer. He
And I
eats 'em
love
up.
that they bring that up in the in No Way Home, where
Yeah.
they're like talking about the bad guys they fought, and like you guys fought like cool stuff. You fought a
Yeah.
Russian dude in a metal rhinoceros once. I'm like, really?
Yeah, and he's like, "Wait, you've been to outer space and all that?"
Yeah,
He's
you've
like,
been to
"Yeah,
outer
all this
space?"
crazy stuff." He's like,
what are
"Man."
the Avengers? I love that when Toby's like, "What are the Avengers?"
Dude, yeah, if you've been into all those movies, there's so much just payoff. It's great, but it's like it's not like this fan service. It's like part of the story.
And
So
to
it's
be
really
honest,
cool.
dude, like they've done a good job with some of the shows. Like
Oh, yeah.
the
some of them.
what's the one? WandaVision was really good.
Yeah, WandaVision does like the first one. Yeah, I thought Falcon Winter Soldier was good. I thought that was
Falcon
fine.
Winter Soldier was good, but like Loki was probably like, the next.
Yeah,
level,
the first
really,
that was
really
honestly
fucking
my
good.
favorite. At least the first season was definitely. And it's funny, the
but-
guy, the showrunner of that's the showrunner of Heels, Michael Gondry.
really?
But yeah, no, but it's crazy.
Oh,
For
shit.
Loki season 1, yeah, that and Heels, man.
What?
And something else, yeah. And he's like, dude, look him up. So it's cool. 'Cause I'm like, damn, this is great writing. And he was like, big part of Heel. Like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, but like until like Deadpool and Wolverine came out, I kind of lost a lot of hope for what they were gonna be able to put out. But like Disney gave us like R-rated Wolverine, which was pretty
Dude,
awesome.
Deadpool and Wolverine. We could do a super episode on that because
We really can.
that really is perfection transcending so much, dude. It's yeah. We don't need, but yeah, we're gonna have to do like a super thing on Deadpool and Wolverine because he's about to make a name for himself right here.
I'm about to make a name for myself. You just make sure people know what happened here today.
Accent is spot on, by the way.
Thank you.
Dude, it's funny because Jeff is actually in
Horrible
Louisiana
Cajun
too.
accent.
No, mine's amazing, Jeff. You don't know what you're talking about, Jeff. I sound just like Gambit.
Oh, and that's a
Dude,
great
it
number.
is good. No, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm about to make a name for myself with my movie.
It's funny because Gambit was actually like as a little kid, Gambit was my favorite character for like all my
Oh,
childhood.
me too, dude. Me too.
He was just
I'm
cool.
from Louisiana,
He was the
man.
coolest
Yeah, he had
one.
you know what
He's
I
the
think
one
it
like
was?
I would like to be him because he's like a cool, good-looking like dude
He
with
threw
like
cards. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, when I was gonna say, you know what I think it was? It was the duster.
yeah, dude. His
The
outfit, all of
duster,
it,
for
the
sure.
appearance,
The
the
du- like-
But he
duster,
was
the
also
cane.
banging
He had the
Rogue.
Yeah,
cane,
the
dude.
cane.
Rogue had that fucking booty back in
Hey,
the
dude,
day,
Rogue
not
was
the
hot,
new
and he
one.
had that,
Wow,
dude.
New
Yeah,
Rogue.
dude. Gambit was my favorite for so many reasons, but it's funny.
But for
So
me,
Gambit was
also,
dope.
he's from Louisiana, and he talks about it. A lot.
I
So,
always
like,
played
you
as
gotta
Gambit
rap.
in the video game.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I like
oh,
Channing
yeah.
Tatum, but honestly, like I feel like you need a taller, skinnier guy to play Gambit.
Gambit.
He
I
just didn't
like
have the
Channing-
build.
No. I say
I think
if
Channing
it's
Tatum's
gonna
I
be
think he
anybody
does a
at
good
this
job.
point, it's got to be Channing, and we got to
No,
push
into
this.
the mic.
No, yeah, I support Channing though.
saying
I support
talking to the
him
mic.
because I think he
So
nails
he
it.
can hear you better.
I was just thinking like before, like I knew he was trying to get movies
thing I
made
like
years
about-
ago. I would like imagined like
A slender, yeah, I got
yeah,
you.
like
That
a
makes
Josh
sense.
Holloway almost, like from Lost. You know the guy Sawyer. I feel like he always looked
Yeah,
like a Gambit to me.
that was like his fucking brother. Yeah, exactly. What do you think about like McConaughey?
Yeah, younger maybe. Yeah, I think he could have done it. Like I don't know if he's tall enough.
back when they made like the first X-Men.
Yeah,
Because that like, he
yeah,
should've
no,
been
I
in
could
that
see him
crew.
doing it.
Yeah.
But he'd have getting. Gosh, the really southern drawl and the really Louisiana thing. I'd be curious
That-
because
dude, and that's the thing.
it's a whole
Channing
like
Tatum-
type of confusing.
Channing Tatum talks about it. Like nobody really lands the Louisiana accent in movies.
They don't
Unless
try.
they're from here.
It's dangerous.
They and it's not even their fault. It's because they have to get an accent of what you think we sound like. So you get that northern Louisiana like southern accent down where everybody just talks
Yeah.
like this.
It
But
ends
like
up being Forrest Gump.
it's either that or they do a New Orleans accent and nobody sounds like they're from New Orleans except people from New Orleans. They sound like they're from New York. They're like they talk about like, everything's over there on Ponchatoula Avenue, and like they put
Like Boston in there.
Yeah, they got like, their waffles and salsa and stuff like that. They're fucking weird, man.
They're fucking
Like,
weird.
they
great,
talk
though.
different, but
That's
like
great,
no,
though.
like to be honest, no one really is put Cajun on film before, and Channing Tatum tried. He's from Alabama.
Dude,
He
that
grew
new
up-
show
He grew up
Parish
in Louisiana, but like he
is based
did
on
it.
there.
He did a good enough job.
No,
I think.
there's that show that's like just came out like within last year on AMC. It had Giancarlo Esposito's the main character, is a whaleman, but like it's in Louisiana. It's called Parish.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's like I
might
you
check
could-
that out.
Yeah, it's called Parish as far as like being a
Well,
part of like that the world. I think you could let me know if they do a good job.
There was another one. Like there was a show on fucking HBO where it was based in Louisiana, and some of the people were good. Steve Zahn was in it. Some of the people were good, but some of the people were fucking bad. It was just bad accents.
All
Good
right.
and bad. All right.
Should I go to my movies? I've got like 5.
Knock 'em out, brother.
I don't have any.
Knock
But
'em out.
Unfortunately, one of mine is going to be. Well, I'm just not even going to add it. It's one you should
Wow.
see, but I'm gonna leave it for Matt because it's
The Eeyore of the.
I don't
movie
know.
world.
It's not.
I left it
mean,
for
all
Matt
right.
too. I left it for Matt
Yeah.
too.
See.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
you guys. You know, you know,
It's one that it should be it will be a 5 slicer, but we're just gonna leave it for Matt.
a big old 5 slice.
So we'll start off with one of the movies I have, Reminiscence.
Oh
with
yeah,
Hugh Jackman.
yeah,
That was
yeah. I remember that.
I will say it kind of did leave me. Again, this is one of the movies I saw. Really, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
It wasn't bad though, but it was interesting.
it wasn't bad. The thing about that movie
I feel
is
like they could have done so much.
yeah, a
more,
lot
though.
went into it, and it was
Yeah.
so the team that did like the Westworld show,
Mm-hmm.
like, and it's actually Christopher Nolan's brother and his wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the wife, I believe, actually directed this, but so
Makes sense.
yeah. So I mean, and again, I feel like it's almost like Westworld. Like Westworld really had a lot of great ideas and a lot,
Yeah.
but they couldn't execute it well. Like the first season's perfect. First season,
season, yeah,
it should have ended.
absolutely.
First season is like an isolated thing. That's perfection. But then after that, yeah, they just created a really interesting big world they couldn't control and make a compelling story. And I feel like she did the same thing with this movie. Like really well done. Like all the team behind it and special effects and the world building and the acting, it's all good. They just couldn't make it into like a story that was like executed.
Worth watching.
It's worth
Yeah,
watching.
right.
It is worth watching. Like yeah, it's like a
2
7 out of
hours.
10 to me. But you think, dang, if this was a little different, it could have been more like a 9 at least.
Yep. The other one would be Don't Look Up.
Yep.
Come on.
Sir.
And let's see, just because it's hands down my favorite horror movie and also my favorite movie in general.
Oh, big booties.
But you should, I love the big booties.
That's a good one.
Halloween Kills.
All right.
It was a good one. David Gordon Green directed it.
And North Dallas own.
North Dallas' own.
I'm telling you.
It was a good movie. And then let's see, that I might be coming up on pretty much my number 1 banger for the year, guys.
Banger. A club banger.
It's
Numero
a
one.
banger. Matrix Resurrection. That is not the banger though.
Okay.
No. No,
So that's a really
absolutely not.
question
'Cause that was,
the way
I
you
mean,
interpret things.
That was the one where he that's the very last one where he came back. He's the fucking where he's like doesn't realize he's in the looks different or something.
To be honest, I do like the Matrix part of that movie. Like the part that
like how they tried to
created.
make
I
it
thought that
seem-
was
that part was that was
part
cool.
was written very well.
Yes.
Yes.
But that's not my number 1. My number 1 movie is you can play a trailer for it,
All right, what am I
John
looking-
and the Hole.
Oh. Yeah, I've seen this.
Have you?
What is
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, the little kid and it's freaking Dexter is the dad and all. Yep. I've seen this.
John in the
course.
Hole.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember this. Let me see. I was changed into this.
Yeah, it's an IFC movie. IFC movies were always, it was a high chance of them being pretty decent.
See, I need to change. Hold on, I need to change this. What I'm sharing the party, because.
So Jeff can see.
Yeah, because I was moving around so Matthew can see. So give me 1 second here. I need to reshare. I'm gonna pick a different entire screen. It's gonna be that one.
Screen
And I'm going to unpin you. And I think you can see this, right?
I had a strong feeling you had seen this.
Yeah, this looks like his type of movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Director, we don't know.
This is your life, John. This is what you want to do. This could be who you are.
It's just like really, really hardcore, like commentary, just like social, like they're just It's packaged in some scene, but it's like not the world. It's like really all about the commentary, and it's just being the vehicle.
I'm thinking about the like deeper meaning behind something.
Yeah, like it's like literally just It's an interesting way to do it.
Man, Michael C. Hall's one of those guys that played a role too well.
Yeah, I do like him a lot though.
I love him. I loved him in 6 Feet Under.
Oh yeah, we started in 6 Feet Under.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good.
Oh, hell yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Brought snacks. I always bring snacks.
All right. Was that your last one?
That's it.
That's
my movie.
All right.
Y'all didn't even pay attention?
Watch out.
I did.
We're paying attention.
I don't need it.
Get in the fucking hole.
I don't need that out. Awesome. All right. Well, I guess that's me. Is it me next? Me too. All right. So I got a few. I'm gonna probably have to show the trailers.
Ooh, Licorice Pizza. Fantastic.
Yeah. So Bliss. I'll probably be showing a lot of trailers. And this is a movie I didn't see the year it came out, because I remember when it came out, it was like Amazon released it, right? And it has Owen Wilson, Selma Hayek in it. And it almost looked I just saw it and thought, oh man, this is a terrible, like a romantic comedy or something that they got him. Just because so I just wrote it off until I didn't realize that the freaking director's Mike Cahill, who's done like he's done other movies that have been on our list, right? So all this shit, like Eye Origins, the one about the eyes, and
yes.
So all this stuff has like really deep, like very like resonating meaning to it, and this is like really fascinating, and it was like probably the biggest budget he's been given, and so it probably didn't obviously connect with a lot of people, but if you know the director, it's in the soundtrack, dude. There's this song from this movie is on the playlist for like my daughter's songs. They have like a few that I love. There's a song from this movie that's on there because I thought it was just so powerful. It's insane. So, let's say Bliss. Because I wrote it off and I was like, hold on, that was him? And I was like, dang, okay.
I have a picture in my head of a place.
You can see it well enough, Matthew?
I don't know if it's real, but it has a feeling, and the feeling's real. Hi, my love.
Hi, Dad. I wanted to talk to you about my graduation.
I'm gonna be there.
Dude, Matthew, this is really powerful movie. It is.
Okay.
Taking the day off in here? The boss wants to see you.
Wow.
You're real.
Like, dude, it's actually like it's very powerful. And like a lot of it, those characters, if you've had certain types of people in your life that have dealt with certain issues, it like presents them in such a unique way, and it's I get it. It's a movie that definitely I'll cry every time I watch it. I can cry if I think about it too much, just because it resonates. Like, there's certain people, if you've been through certain things, that'll really resonate with you, and it's one of those movies.
Can't think of the last movie I cried in. Oh, you know what it was?
Schindler's List.
The Iron Claw.
Oh, mine was Auto.
But I say, you have to experience the good. So appreciate the bad.
And not the other way around.
Exactly.
I'm glad I caught you. Word on the street that there have been problems with this.
He's got a small role, Bill Nye. I really feel like they shouldn't even put him in there.
I was about to say, you lost me, Bill Nye. Okay.
He's like such a small part. I don't know why.
Do not forget, it's been a crazy few days.
Graduated 2 weeks ago. Ignore her. She's not real.
She feels real.
I'm scared.
So it's serious?
Yes, it is incredibly serious.
Like a trick.
It is
Owen
so
Wilson.
serious.
You know what's funny? This seems like a role that Luke Wilson would have taken.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think this was like he took this as a way to try and get Raid defined and just kind of prove something. I don't know. I'm glad that he did it, and he does a great job with it.
No, I love Owen Wilson. I believe he can do it.
Yeah, Loki was like a big thing. Those huge
for sure.
Wow.
Yeah. No, those made Wedding Crashers, and, like, dude, the old Owen Wilson, I was a big part of him in Zoolander, dude. Huge. This is a great movie, though.
He's so hot right now.
He's so hot. Hansel's so hot right now. Yeah, dude. So that's good. Another
cool
one.
Story, Hansel.
Yeah, Hansel.
I still say that.
Or Billy Zane, cool guy.
Yeah, Billy Zane. Listen to your friend Billy Zane.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy.
Dude, people slept on the Zoolander sequel. It was freaking hilarious.
It was all right, man.
Dude, I loved it, man.
It didn't need to be done.
Dude, I think it was. If you're old,
it was Dumb and Dumber 2. It was fan service for like,
exactly.
The fans
But
that really
yeah, I loved it because it was stuff wearing up to me.
I mean, but if you're gonna remake everything, you might as well.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's how exactly I feel. It's like, man, they're actually doing it. If they do it and make fun of it,
Like
I
Happy
think
Gilmore.
Yeah. But so yeah, that's really good. Next one's Nobody. I want to show because man, I'm showing a trailer for everything.
shit.
But this was the Bob Odenkirk. It's basically like, and there's actually one of the directors, somebody like worked on John Wick movies. It's like a part of that team, right? So they kind of took the John Wick style of action and put it into this character. It's like a serious action movie about like some guy.
Seen this, Mikey?
No, I've seen this. It's a great movie.
Yeah, it's really good. I'll blow through because I mean, I could show. Yeah, I guess I could show a trailer because I just don't know if I end up showing trailers for all these. Let's see.
It definitely has some powerful scenes in it.
Yeah, dude. And again, it was Bob Odenkirk. It's funny because I've followed him for a long time, and he's like been on a.
Did he ever get mad?
Yeah, no, but yes, he did. Because I followed him. I'm tracking him. I got a tracker on his car, and his family knows me, not because for good reasons, restraining orders. Let's see. It's a scary time. It's a rated R trailer. Yeah, so Bob Odenkirk really just taking on an extremely ridiculous role.
Did you even take a swing? No.
Could have taken her, Dad.
He like does all his stunts and for the most part.
Heard you had some excitement.
I think you had some room to put it on there.
My place, you know.
Yeah, I had all week.
He did have all week.
I was just trying to keep the damage to a minimum. Yeah, how's that working out for you?
You okay? Because you don't look okay.
There's a long dormant piece of me.
Really, it's like a John Wick character with a bit more depth and like relatability.
No, a lot more.
Dude, this bus scene.
No, if John Wick was your dad.
Awesome.
Yeah, dude.
I'm gonna fuck you up.
And the guy that doesn't even look threatening is like so. It's great because all the things that they're like aware of, but they really.
And Bob
know.
Odenkirk, he did the work, dude. Like,
he got in
sells it
shape,
that
dude.
Movie.
Oh, he really does.
Hell of a day.
You can see that.
Yep. Yeah, Dave.
For 12 years, I worked for some very dangerous people. Everybody get to the basement.
So basically, like if you like John Wick, you should like this.
Yeah, John Wick in Suburbia. That's what it is.
Yeah, but like the action is like John Wick style of quality.
I used to be what they call an auditor. The last guy in
Gun
wants to
fu.
see at their door.
Modern gun fu.
Because it meant you didn't have long to live.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But I left it behind to start a family. I might have overcorrected.
When you left, you abandoned a certain debt that needs repayment. And your creditor is aware of your resurrection.
Dude, that challenges.
Yeah, it's so hard. This thing, it's great. It's great.
They came after my family.
I feel like anyone might just like think, oh, they're ripping off John Wick. It's like, no, it's literally like, it's all self-aware and intentional to where it's you can't compare the two, but just know it's like it. Because I feel like it'd be easy to do that. If like another version of me, like what? But it's like no, but it's like you need to. They're aware of that, and it's like
Well, it's like
the same
a John
team.
Wick / Equalizer.
Yeah, it's like let them do this and almost the closest thing to a comedy that might exist in, but not really a comedy, but funny enough. So good. So good. So yeah, there's that. So this one, I don't think anyone here has seen. I'd love it if you did.
What?
It's a movie called The Beta Test.
I saw the picture for it.
Okay.
I saw the masturbator test.
Boy, you nasty.
Dude, this movie is so. It's like I'll just say it's Matthew style, right? But whatever. It's funny. It's so funny, and the characters, yeah. It's
Dude,
it's very unique.
accepted Matthew style.
I don't know, because I don't want to be. I can say all the weird things, but it's like I don't even need to. I guess.
No. At this
So
point.
I don't even know. Just
Play it.
yeah. Assume everything is weird because it.
Another IFC film. What do they don't miss?
They don't. They're all hits. They're all hits.
A couple of weeks ago, I got a letter in the mail inviting me to a no-strings-attached sexual encounter in a hotel room.
Imagine
like
the two
STDs.
people.
It's pretty
Imagine the two people who
official,
watch along with
I don't
us
know.
and just
I was
saying that at the same time.
I went.
They don't miss.
What? This is nuts.
That's why we do it, by the way, for you.
And we're blind.
Matthew's cousin.
But the woman,
Well, that's my nephew.
I can't even tell you.
Same thing.
Wait, what's going on here? Hold on. Wait, this is really happening? You really did this? In this climate?
Dude,
His buddy's got a point.
it's very meta
Married
style.
like 6
But
weeks. If anything were going on,
Who's
I'd
the
let you
girl?
where there's this, yeah, his wife, but then like the
No, I'm suspicious
girl
of
with
it.
Yeah,
his
I thought it was.
I don't
like,
remember the actor. Yeah, it's
I thought it was an actress, so we knew.
Maybe it's my way. People are so terrified of stepping out of line. Consequences won't go away.
It's really like a character study on this very sensationalized version of a person that you know or like in culture, just kind of
I can't use the
what's
language that I'd
expected.
like to use to you right now because of the new direction that the agency and the country is going.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Everything's great with me. This isn't a midlife crisis. I'll let you know when I'm having one of those.
Yeah, dude, it's
Hey, Jacqueline, perfect timing.
very on the nose, but dude, it's
Wash, okay? How are you gonna look?
I had to like watch it over and over. Like I couldn't. Just the style of it and so execution of this. It was just this guy does a great job at like this. Very. It's almost like a weird Nightcrawler type character, but not really like Nightcrawler, Jake Gyllenhaal. But he does a really good job being dynamic. You can't stop looking at the way he's acting this character.
I'd love to take mushrooms and have a movie night at Matt's house.
Dude.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, man. That's the best way to watch a lot of these movies. So beta test is really weird.
Exactly.
I'll go on my number one just because it happens to be on this. I won't show a trailer, but Dune. Dune's my number one. It's because it has to be. I mean,
it's one.
I love Dune. You know, the books and everything. It was a big part of me, and that this movie was actually made. It was very magical, and it deserves more time than I can give it right now. But yeah, it's.
Why does the big fat guy bathe in oil?
Well, that's the way the Harkonnens. Well, that's the way they want to present him because he's a real big fat guy, and he's in the books and even David Lynch's one. He's got. I don't think you see him in like it's motorized, almost like a little like hoverboard, like a hoverboard type or hoverboard seat thing that he didn't have to walk. He was so lethargic because he was so wealthy, and he just like chooses to lean into the fact that he didn't have to do anything if he didn't want to, so he literally didn't do hardly anything, and so he just like let himself get fat, but he wore it like a sign of his wealth and all that shit. Yeah. And so that's just the bathing and all that is just they want to add in as far as what kind of treatment or what kind of treatment might exist on their planet and weird stuff that would either maintain him in some form or fashion, but it's like a luxurious like weird health enhancement. That's just what it has to be.
Not gonna lie, I could not get behind that movie whatsoever.
So
I couldn't sit down for more than 15 minutes without getting bored out of my mind. Like I can handle slow movies.
Yeah.
But it could never encapsulate.
And I understand that. Like if I didn't love them so much.
He needs to speak up because he's speaking some truth right now. I do have some issues with Dune.
I could not.
It
never felt interesting to me. None of the characters felt like they popped out at all. It literally just felt like I was just watching something that a high schooler made. Personally, like each individual character, I was expecting them to have their own dynamic type of personality And sure, they
No,
brought
no,
along
that
great
makes-
No, they
actors
killed
to
off
do
the
that.
only guy with that, Jason
Exactly.
Momoa's
They
character.
brought great actors to fill these roles, but the script didn't allow these actors to do anything.
No. And that's the thing, I guess, for me,
This is
just
true.
because I was into the book so much to where I can't see it without knowing so much
stuff
about the
behind
characters in the world and all this, to where I think as far as like loving the books, it's a perfect execution. You couldn't ask for anything better. If you've read a book and you love it, yes. But okay, if someone who's never read them
That's what
and
I
they're just
mean.
looking for big sci-fi, it's like I can see it being good, and I can see all the elements that are kind of slow and interesting. Even the setting. It's like the setting of a huge sand planet is so unsexy. It's so boring and dull. There's so much that's really not, unless you really get into like the really hard, kind of hard sci-fi of it all.
I think the off-putting part for some people is it's like it's fanfare for a obscure group of fans for an obscure movie and book series, but like on a grand scale. So like they're
that's an
treating it like it's
interpretation of it.
Star Wars. You know,
That's
what
an
I mean?
interpretation.
And
See,
I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm not even trying.
I don't
to
think
bring
it's
up the
fanfare
argument.
even. It's like if you could think
I'm not
of
even trying to bring up the
yeah.
argument if it deserves it or not, because like honestly, the overall story, I haven't even seen the overall story yet because I haven't read the books, I haven't watched the originals, I've only watched these, and I'm not a huge fan of movies without endings, but I do like what he said about the characters didn't pop. You have all these great actors like Oscar Isaac and Jason Momoa, and like we didn't see enough of them for them to make an impact. You know, Timothée Chalamet is great in it, and I love Zendaya.
Yeah.
She's great in it too.
It's usually not even the first one. She's really only comes out in the second one.
But if I
That's the
have
thing.
Yeah.
This really, Dune and Dune Part 2, it really just needs to be viewed as like one movie. It's like it's because there was literally if it didn't do well enough for him to make a next one, it'd be like this was just a big,
But isn't it a
big-
trilogy though?
Yeah, and then thank God, because I was that the second one did so well because there he is getting to finish the trilogy because he didn't know how well it'd do to be able to tell the whole that arc of the story that goes through like Dune and Children of Dune and Dune Messiah and Children of Dune, I believe.
Yeah, it seems like it was such a dense book
It's
and
so heavy.
story to
And
where
that
it's
and
like
again that's
you
the
can
thing.
only
It's
cover so much.
If you're someone who's like read a book and gotten a really big fan of it, yeah, I can get for anyone who hasn't be like it's kind of okay. That's crazy, but to see them actually execute on the biggest scale with the best director who loved the stuff, it's the best version of that's ever existed.
No, I know.
Yeah, I got you.
It's the best version of that. It's like, oh dang, and a lot of people love the book. It's got a huge following for decades.
It's
to
kinda how
actually
I feel
see
about-
it taken and back, damn, this is the best version you could imagine of them
I
putting
get
this on
that.
a screen. It's seriously like it's the best
Honestly,
version of that you could imagine.
You saying that reminds me of how I feel about Watchmen, where a lot of people were like, "Oh, like they didn't really cover enough. They didn't really
Yeah.
do this and do that."
Dude,
Like,
you
it's
watched
a
the
3.5
animated one?
hour movie, man. Huh?
Have you they're doing the animated part one of the animated version of it.
I heard that. I'm gonna
It's
really
really
good.
good.
Episodes come out.
It's like
first.
spot on with the graphic novel, but it's really good.
But I feel like the movie. I mean, for making a motion picture, like
Yes,
that's
Watchmen
the
was
best
amazing.
it could have looked. Like they honestly
Yes.
casted amazing. Like that's like
Watchmen was perfect.
I'm not the biggest Zack Snyder guy, but I thought he did a great fucking job with
you need
it.
to see I'm sure you've seen like the director's cut. It's like another like 40 minutes.
Oh yeah.
To where
That's the one I recommend to people.
Yes, it's like slow and long, but that's like telling the story of the Watchmen, which I was luckily
And
had
it's got enough action in it and enough like
yeah,
honestly
dude.
every time Rorschach's in it, like
Dude, Rorschach,
it's amazing.
dude, he was
So like it's got enough of that.
And just even if you didn't see
Jackie
the
Earle
movie,
Haley, baby.
Yeah, yes. If you just because the house I lived in Denton, one of our roommates there, and he had the graphic novel of The Watchmen. This was before the movie came out, so it was like they were really into it, and I read it because of how much they talked about just the graphic novel, and then it's like one of those things. Oh crap! Now they're making a movie. This is like perfect timing.
Yeah.
Because I consumed the graphic novel of it, and then
it's fucking good.
Yeah, it's amazing. Which is a graphic novels. When it came out, it was a series of comics, but whenever the story's done, they can
It's kind of
compile
like
it
The
in a graphic
Boys too. Like I don't even
Yeah,
remember what
it was like in the
what's come
80s,
first.
but no, that came first. Like The Watchmen is like, yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, I would imagine.
So, but yeah, it's really good. So we'll have to talk more about it next time. But so here's another movie came out this year. Someone else had to see this. It was a Ridley Scott film, The Last Duel.
Yes,
because your boy's in it.
Yeah,
your
Adam
boy's in
Driver.
it. Adam Driver's in it.
Dude, this was a
This-
weird fucking movie.
Dude, people didn't like it. It didn't do well. It did terrible. Actually, I think it might have performed.
I don't remember it. I just
financially.
I saw it.
It was, and
like,
again,
what?
it was like still like the COVID lingering of.
Yeah.
Like I think I saw one trailer ad for it, and then it was like in theaters and gone. But it's actually a pretty freaking good movie. It's literally about the last duel.
I don't
you're good.
care.
Yeah,
for
get whatever you want. Yeah, just go around.
I don't care for how they
The
tell
fridge is
like
open. Anything. Oh yeah.
I don't like movies that like will show you one side, the other person's side, and then the other person's side, and it's just like the same scenes happening over. I'm not a huge fan of that,
Yeah.
but like this one kind of did it like well.
Yeah, it's just like that kind of that's duel.
Still like not my favorite like storytelling arc.
Yeah.
but, like it was a good way to get the story.
It's Matt. Yeah, it's Matt Damon, Adam Driver, and what's her name? Freaking Killing Eve. She's done pretty well she's doing well for herself. But yeah, it's a good. A lot of people it didn't do well. A lot of people like wrote it off. But I think it's a movie. It's a Ridley Scott movie that I think it'll do better with age. Just like people don't respect the counselor now, they need to respect the counselor.
It's the Me Too medieval movie.
Yeah. It's so good, but all right. So, more other ones we already covered it. Don't Look Up, right?
Five Slicer.
Yeah, Don't Look Up. That's everybody, right? And the Suicide Squad was another one of mine.
Nice.
We talked about that.
Mikey might have had room for that if he really thought about it.
If he thought about it, if he gave it some time, it's okay though. It's okay. All love. So. The next three, I guess that's the three trailers. I'll start with this movie, Oxygen. Did anyone see this? No. It's like and it was
You can't.
And you recognize the actress.
How can you see
I
it?
saw a movie called O2.
No, that's a sensor on a car.
Boom.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, it's technically like a sci-fi movie, but it's like one of those like claustrophobic. It's mainly just one character trapped in like an isolated environment, but it like it connects to outside stuff. But it's got a very few. And this actress, I forget her name, but you recognize her. She's French or.
Sick.
You seen this?
No, it looks sick.
Dude, it's so good.
Reminds me of a movie I've seen before.
Yeah, like she was in Inglourious Bastards.
It's in French.
Yeah, it's a French movie. I guess I'd say it's a foreign film.
I'm watching Deerskin tonight. That's the only foreign
Yeah,
film
you've talked
I'm
about
watching.
Deerskin. Have you not even watched it?
No.
Because I watched the clips. I apologize for
Mikey,
cutting you
the
off
foreign
about
film you need
Deerskin.
to watch is Parasite. Just like
You're a parasite.
No, but
I'm
he's
kidding, I love you.
latched onto
Fair
Deerskin
enough.
like a parasite, which is interesting. But you need to watch it
I need to
because
watch
it's really been on your
Parasite
mind a lot.
and Deerskin.
This is a really good. It's a very tense, very,
You're about to get plugged
You
up.
could be uncomfortable. It's like it's very high pressure, tense kind of psychological sci-fi that. Again, I really like things that aren't comforting, comfortable. But I love beautiful stuff too.
I'm not gonna lie, international movies just have a way of like being just not necessarily better, but have better ideas for films.
Yeah, you get to see stuff that they don't greenlight because they don't see that it would make enough money for the general American audience. But it doesn't make it bad, but it's like they're not going to finance that stuff here.
might be the type of
But
movie
over
that
there,
Hollywood
they get so
might
much
not like,
funding.
but,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
awesome.
But they get stuff funded just through weird government grants and stuff to where you wonder how they get made because they have like government stuff paying for it. The movie could not make any money and they get literally like the government funds a ton of stuff. So it's cool though for like really creative stories and ideas. That's why you see a lot of them that are international.
You showed me by Gaspar Noé.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Enter the Void. Yes.
That was no, not Enter the Void. It was the other
Oh,
one.
Climax.
I think it was where they're
The
all
dance
dancers.
one?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was fantastic.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad you watched that. You're like one of the only
Great.
people.
I watched that by myself when I was tripping once. It was mwah,
Dude.
magnifico.
But yeah, so this is a good family film for you, Mikey. Actually, no. Actually, that probably is the best family film for Mikey. Licorice Pizza is on it.
Hey,
I mean, sure. It's a good Paul Thomas Anderson, which I feel like he executes perfectly his stories. I find I accept the fact that he's and it makes sense. He doesn't make anything in modern time. It's always some kind of period piece. But really, modern time is really not interesting. Like, I don't know. It's like it is and isn't. I don't know. I like what he does, and he executes it all well. But it's like this one's like a was it late 70s ish kind of coming of age type story. It's really just not anything big and flashy. It's just a really cool coming of age story that's set like in 70s Hollywood, roughly. I'm trying to think, remember, but it's
The
good.
acting debut of Philip Seymour Hoffman's son, too.
Yes, and the chick, I know she's a member of that band Haim, and they just like they I think Paul Thomas Anderson, I don't know if he met her or saw him play, but they just like wanted her for this role. And this is like her first like big acting thing, but she does a really good job. But it wasn't because she wanted, but it's because like the director or some part like they identified this in her and they saw it and they're like, we want you to do this type thing.
Okay.
So it's really cool. It's interesting. It's a really good movie.
Oh yeah.
Licorice Pizza.
Look
There's
badass.
no
Like it,
connection.
Mikey, you would like it.
You would really like it. Kind of like which you probably haven't watched, but everybody
It is
wants
a nice
some.
family film.
I've watched Everybody Wants Some.
Yeah,
Why are you guys
okay.
saying this?
Because I sent it to
You guys
you
slandering me.
for Christmas, and you haven't watched it enough.
Yeah. All right. Okay. The last one that I'll mention here is The Green Knight.
Dude, there's another one that was on my list of stuff I wanted to see but didn't really know much about.
It's the director who's done other stuff that I've mentioned. I think The Witch, Lighthouse. No, this might be No, this is Lowry or Eggers. Either way, like I've mentioned both these directors' stuff, and they have like a really cool aesthetic. And,
Who's the actor?
Dev Patel.
I fucking love him, man.
And this is like The Green Knight is actually like one of the most classical characters in like whatever lore, whatever that is, you would categorize all that is.
I'm watching this tonight.
But Sir Gawain, Gawain, it's like a really weird name, but it's literally just like if this is his tale that's been around forever. But yeah, now I'm about to play the trailer. But this is hiding from here.
A24.
They hit it all.
They don't
miss.
They hit, and then they beat. They beat your girl up.
You think they'd be okay if we made shirts that said A24? They don't miss.
I think they would. Let's
They
reach out.
probably
Matthew needs to make a little compilation clip of us just talking about A24 cock riding.
Yeah, it's right there.
The meat writing is insane.
Meat right. Oh yeah.
Who can D1 meat writer right there.
Regale me and my queen with some myth.
I don't miss.
Or tale.
O greatest of kings, let one of your knights
He's like the Indian actor.
Yeah.
indulge me in this game.
Really is.
I mean, dude, he's Slumdog, right? He's Slumdog
Yeah,
Millionaire.
yeah, he's amazing.
But he's also Life of Pi, right? Or is that someone else?
It is him. Dude, every good Indian role that you can imagine as an American, like
Have you seen Monkey Man?
I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't.
I'm so aware of it. That's why I haven't seen it.
I
yet.
love it because it's about Hanuman, I believe.
It's
Hanuman.
fucking awesome.
And he directed it,
He
too, I know.
he fucking delivers on the acting and the directing. I need to watch this
You
movie.
seek him out.
Was it not just a game?
Perhaps. But it is not complete.
You'll find no
He's such a great actor.
Yeah.
no
This is.
Like, I'm interested to see what he's gonna do when he's like, old. Like, it's a little bit older.
Yeah, no, he's gonna be able to, hopefully we'll get to see him like
Paul Dano?
create the stories and ideas more and more.
Who is it?
No, that dude was in that
What's that guy's
Saltburn
name?
guy though.
Yeah,
Saltburn.
that's man, Riley. I can never.
Yeah, really
pronounce his name.
weird looking actor that
Yeah, he
does
was
well
like
for himself
so
by looking
good.
weird.
He was like an orphan.
Yeah, in real life.
But again,
yes,
like
yeah.
it's one of those movies where I guess maybe the tiny percent of people who are familiar with the actual like tale of Sir Gawain, to where they could like, if people are butthurt by things not being exactly the way they were in the original tale, it's really just is irrelevant. But it's so much of it is spot on, so it is really good, really cool.
It's such an old story. Like,
Yeah.
how could you be nitpicking it? At
Exactly,
this point?
I know. It's like yeah. It's just I think it's me. David Lowery, yeah, because he did the Ghost Story and all this stuff. So he's getting
It's like they make a Humpty the Dumpty movie, but like all
Dude,
the
yeah.
king's horses and all the king's men kind of could put Humpty back together again.
Yeah.
That's not how it went, guys.
That
They had
isn't
no
happening.
fucking idea how to put them back together. Okay.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's it for me.
Wow.
So is there anything that nephew
there were a couple
gets-
movies that
we
actually didn't talk about. Pig with
I saw
Nicolas
that.
Cage. Did anybody see this?
I did.
Tell me about it. I've not seen this
It's
movie.
exact. And I know it had one of those brothers in it. There was in. I don't know if he's one of those in Hereditary. I think he was. The wolf, whatever, the kid who was the main son in Hereditary. He's in Pig too. But he's in, obviously Nick Cage being Nick Cage, but it's executed
it's a truffle
well.
pig, right?
Yeah, it was good. I don't think it was great, but it was like a well executed version of that. Like it was like it seemed very well done, and it seems like the team behind it was like very committed and convicted with the whole idea and world they built. So it was really well delivered. It was kind of like, yeah, I don't know. It was good. It was good.
That's the thing about Nick Cage, though. It's either hit or miss.
Yeah, well, but he's leading into it so hard, which makes it interesting. Like he just takes everything on. And so I don't know if you ever saw the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent with him and Pedro Pascal. Which is like
I love that
it's
movie.
the most self-aware thing, which is cool. So you know that he's that self-aware with it. But
Well, like he didn't want to make that movie. He's like, I don't want you to make me look.
yeah,
like
the
a fucking
director, like
jackass.
they were able to convince him. So that's cool that he was against it in the game. But yeah, so I did see Pig.
Did you see? I know you're not a big horror fan, but did you see *Malignant*?
I did, dude. This is actually on my
Okay.
freaking list. It's James Wan. It was like a different style to where it was really unique. I thought it
I
was
didn't
like,
see this.
oh, dude, I
I
did
heard
see
about it.
this.
I heard it was big.
And James, like I said, James Wan. It's like him doing. It's cool.
You recommend it?
Yes, I literally have it on like the list of things I had to not put on here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
Well,
*Malignant*.
Next time you got some leftovers, give them to me.
Oh, Mikey, wait, here we go.
Oh,
No, here we go, Mikey. Actually, these two.
Oh, they were on my list. Yeah, I forgot. I left them in the couch.
The Card Counter, The French Dispatch, which is
Yes.
freaking Wes Anderson.
Yes.
It's actually,
Dude,
if you'd love this.
French Dispatch
French
was alright, but
Dispatch,
the
I might have
Card
seen
Counter,
that,
man,
actually.
that caught me off guard.
Card Counter, Oscar Isaac.
Caught me off guard.
Yeah, well, that was the ones I had there, but you've seen
I
it.
had no idea what I was watching.
Yeah.
So, do we want to talk at all about what your research on Super Dark Times was? Or are we getting to this interview with young Matthew?
Oh wait, I had one more. movie.
Oh. I'm
So
sorry.
Talk
I'm
about
sorry.
from 2021.
Yes.
What is it?
Drive My Car. You guys heard about this? Maybe we play a trailer for it.
No.
I have
It was
no
supposed
idea.
To be, it was
So
supposed to be
that's
one of the best movies of the year. It's a foreign film, so I never saw it.
Oh no, I haven't seen this, but I remember it being on my list of things that I'm supposed to watch.
Oh, it's a Japanese film. These are fantastic.
Yeah, it's actually supposed to be really
Really, this is really good.
Dude, look at that sob.
No.
And I believe that's the actor from the new show Sunny on Apple TV
Yeah.
Thank you.
with Rashida Jones, who I love.
I've got about
Big
halfway through
fan.
that. I haven't finished it.
Me too. Same here. Yeah, that's him. He's a good actor.
I'm just a real big fan of shows or movies that show you what actual just like culture and everyday life kind of looks
Yeah.
like in other parts of the world. This is people like to travel, but it's like I like to see like just and it's
their
just them
eyes,
making
yeah.
movies that represent things, but it's cool. I'm a big I love consuming that sort of thing.
Like, I think this is the movie that none of us saw that we should all watch that we
Yeah.
missed. I think this is the one we missed. I kind of like to find these movies every week, too.
Heck yeah. There was a movie that I watched recently that it's based in the States, but it deals with like kind of interesting. Oh no, it was Past Lives, not Past. Maybe it was Past Lives. It was like big Oscar thing, but was it Past Lives? Yeah, but it dealt with like a lot of different cultures. I don't know. It was good. It was really good. If you can't read it, I wouldn't reread it, but It looks.
I
really
literally
good.
just thought the same thing.
It
I was
looks
like,
really
people
good.
listening are like,
It looks really good. Just trust us.
Have you watched Old?
Oh.
Yeah. M. Night Shyamalan.
I actually really like that one.
Yeah, actually, I like it. I don't like it as much as this movie that he just put out. That's still in theaters with Josh Hartnett. Trapped.
Oh, yep.
Or Trap. I really liked Trap. No, thank you, Mikey. Yeah, no, I need to see it. Yeah, dude. Good bring ups. Good bring ups, good sir. Good. But yeah.
Oh, well, shit. I'm sorry.
That's your dog. That's your dog. No, I had another weird.
You wander off on me. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, no. So let's we can close the books on 2021, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna close the books here. I'm gonna put this plug down. She's
Yeah.
trying to plug around. I had to put the plug down. I gotta focus on the podcast.
Oh no, yeah. Then we
gotta
get
quit
hang
plugging
on.
around.
So
Well,
Coach
we're gonna-
2021. I'm gonna take.
Well, what we're gonna do real quick before we dive into this interview, and maybe or maybe not, Jeff may or may not be joining us, but we're gonna take a quick little commercial break.
And we'll post the real time, so if
we'll
you
be
really
right
want the
back.
experience to know how long we
I'm
were
gonna film everything and
playing
post it on
grab
our
ass.
Instagram.
Yeah. Actually, for the Patreon,
gonna
you'll
film
be
for the
filming and
Patreon.
releasing.
Tell me what the weather was like during the interview.
Dude, our Patreon, you'll be able to see we're about to go outside
You know,
and film
Jeff,
it.
it's that little touch. It's that little touch that'll keep the listener coming back. You know,
Little
just
touch
keep
too
them
much.
coming. They'll be like, I love whenever he tells me
Oh.
how cold or warm it is outside.
That's right. We'll
2
be right
days
back
ago.
then.
All right, ba-dum-bum. And we're back, and it is just the three of us.
Yep.
In the pugs. Jeff he's tucked himself in for the night. And we hope you guys have enjoyed that movie.
I did.
He's AFK.
I felt a
And
great discourse with him.
I tell you what, I'm gonna go home tonight and
rub
I'm
one out
gonna
to him.
look at 2022.
I hope so.
I'm gonna
I hope
get
so.
I'm gonna tell you this right now.
You see what I'm doing?
My list of movies.
It's so clear. I'm not trying to manipulate you, but
my list of movies next week is 100%. It's going to be 100% better than Matt and Jeff's because I am going to have done so much research.
no, there's
on
gonna
my
be your
movies.
picks though. So it doesn't matter. That's
No,
I
my
believe
picks.
it.
I'm saying
I
my picks
believe
are
it'll
gonna
be a
better.
robust.
This isn't a competition, but
Yes.
my picks. I'm
you'll
gonna
have
make it a
you'll have picks
competition.
that you could speak to.
So they're gonna be certified bangers.
You will have picks that you can.
That's the bit. Like you'll have picks you can speak to. That's literally it.
Look,
they
the
can all
last 2
suck,
years
but
have been
you
a
can tell us why
struggle.
you like them, and that's great.
Look,
That's
so
all
I
that
went
matters.
from super dark times to then just like 2 years in a row of like where you were like, wow, this is a good pick, and now like these other ones, you're like, oh,
Super dark times, man.
yeah. I just didn't want to go down the list and start naming stuff when I hadn't
Super
really
dark
seen
times,
anything. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's pretty dang.
I mean,
and yeah, I mean, it's like, dude, did you only see it when it came out? Like it came out, and
I
maybe
saw it after it came out, like
I
a
can-
little bit after. I saw like when it was on Netflix.
dude. These dogs. I'm trying not like think, but they're literally going to town on my lap. I can't do anything. I can't do anything. These freaking pugs. I love them. It's so adorable. Oh my god. These two pugs are
I know.
living their best life playing. They're
I know. And Potato just
They're like
sits in your
reunited.
lap
They
and
literally
bites
are
down.
reunited siblings.
Yeah.
And I'm just the landscape of their I'm the canvas of the painting of them fighting.
Their battlefield.
I'm
It's
I'm not
hilarious.
a living being. They're literally just
Yeah.
doing the thing, and I'm like, wait, no. This.
Oh.
Like war.
But the thing is, they want to be by me, so I am a part of it because
Yeah,
she's only here
absolutely.
because of me.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. It's funny.
Now they're just gonna fight from our respective chairs.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
have to get a hold of my wild.
I would. Yeah. I mean, I can
Let's-
show Super Dark Times. We're talking about it so much, but we should. I don't want to detract.
That'll be at the end.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it at the end. How about that?
Yeah. And only if he wants to,
so
because we need to. He's the man.
The
We're special
reason
guest.
we're here, the man of the hour.
Not that important, guys. Come on.
Yeah,
You guys are the stars
man.
of the show.
You
Here.
are.
You guys are the stars of the
I
show.
do appreciate that you feel it, but you really matter so much to me and all your family. You really
the
do.
universe in
You
this
think about yourself.
time for this moment, you are the man of the hour.
Nope.
And that's just the fact of it. So just
Yeah.
accept it, buddy. And I know it seems a little, it seems like a lot, but hey,
Daunting,
we're here for
a lot of
you.
pressure, a lot of
we're here
pressure.
for
No
you.
pressure, man.
No pressure at all. So yeah, so for the people, we're about to have to put these pugs in jail.
That one.
Lock 'em
This
up.
one.
That one.
But
She's
this one
ready.
plays innocent. She's up here playing innocent, but she
Potato's the
instigates.
perfect pug.
She is.
I love Lily.
I do
She's
too.
little. She's like a year younger.
She's
She's got so much love and excitement, and I feel bad because she maybe would sit up here, but I can't then they get by
it's
each
too
other.
much,
And
dude.
it's
It's too
just
much.
let's keep going.
So we've interviewed, for full disclosure for the viewers and for this young man which by the way hasn't watched them, but some of you I'm sure
That
have
hurts, doesn't
listened
it?
to the episodes where we interviewed this young man's brother and then we interviewed his mother. Wasn't that the case?
Yes, I believe so.
Succession
Yeah, I
of it
believe
all?
so. Yeah.
And now
We
we're
had Caleb.
interviewing him.
So
But
basically,
he
my
is-
sister and her kids.
Yeah, and he is the eldest child.
Yes.
Of the litter.
Yes.
And this is going to be interesting because I have a lot of questions.
Yes.
On different
There's
levels about the hierarchy.
This is a person the day they're born that I was able to put a mark on them or some influence of who I am to my sister. Automatic so much that she named him after me and Chris.
Which, by the way,
I'll let you get into that.
Let's. Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, we should let the man talk. He's actually here.
Hello, everybody on the podcast. My name is Matthew, named after this wonderful man behind me.
Well, thank you.
In front of me. Christopher, named after the Uncle Chris.
My
Miller.
brother.
Been many episodes.
So yes, he is
my
his
best
middle
friend.
Name is
my OG best friend and current best. But
yeah
you're my best friend too. But I know you because of him.
I don't.
I know. Yeah, you get it. I literally know you
Chris
because
is
of
your.
him.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris is like my brother, and you're
Yeah.
like my younger brother.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there you go.
There's no. I'm not.
Yeah.
My feelings are not hurting.
But either way, so
there's a
it's-
hierarchy here, and it's your homies: Chris, Brandon, Jonathan, all them.
Yeah,
and then
there's a
Mikey
fuck
falls in
Matthew.
there somewhere.
Yeah. So Matthew, yes.
Anyhow, Matthew,
Yes.
you are the oldest piece of trash.
Well, I'll take that.
No, I'm just kidding. You know, I call everybody that. That was the theme last episode when we were talking about siblings. So, you getting ready? You getting ready to move out to go see your brother? Correct?
Yes,
Go
sir,
see.
next Thursday.
Yep.
You about to go out there? You're about to go join him.
And go see him every day
that's the whole
from close
reason-
proximity.
That's the whole reason for this episode, though. Just
Yes,
to
yes.
jump to it, to kind of jump to the end.
Yes.
The whole reason for this is that he is also about to follow and go ahead and
Before we make
Take
our
off.
next
He's gonna
episode,
leave
he's
us.
going to
He's
be in a
leaving.
different state.
Yep. And
Yep.
we do what we can to try and keep people around us, but for whatever reason, they keep leaving.
They don't love you. They don't
They
stick
just
around.
keep leaving.
I'm actually going out there to be with him more than anything.
I know. I kind of picked that vibe up, but let's talk about that. So whenever that was something that like kind of affected you, or that made you feel like you just want to be with your brother, or
100%. Like,
yeah.
I mean, when we were older or younger, obviously, every sibling, tends to fight with each other. That's just something that naturally occurs.
When did you two actually become brother friends? That's like recently.
Whenever
like,
we moved here,
Yeah.
and we moved out away from each other. He was in Forney and I was with Papa Mac. We really didn't get to see each other a ton, and that distance that was present allowed us to both mature in our own ways.
And
So
they're
then
both of that age
when
too.
we did
like
start
how old
to
were
hang
you?
out a lot.
Like he was just becoming like 17, 18.
Exactly, and I was
so,
19, 20, about to be
yeah.
21. I turned 21 right when I moved here.
So you're both going through huge.
So allowing that
yeah.
space that we never had when we were growing up allowed us to mature in our own ways and become our own people. So that way, once we reconnected again, not necessarily reconnected, but once we started hanging out more, we were men, not children.
Yeah.
We were
Yep.
young adults, not kids, not teenagers. There are certain ways that we would act together as brothers when we were younger that just wasn't necessarily how we act now, because we're older now. We understand what it means to have a sibling, understands what it means to have a brother, and I don't even know if there's a word for more than a brother. I feel like I'm missing a giant chunk of me with him not being here.
I know. I know the feeling.
Him
I can
leaving
imagine.
affected me in such a way where I was like, I'm not okay with this.
Yeah.
So when I found out I
It-
got the
it-
job and allowed me to
it
go
makes
out there, I
you
was
so
like, no,
happy.
I'm going.
There you
I'm
go.
gone.
It's a weird thing to be happy.
That's
It's
awesome.
not a weird thing to be happy, but it's just because I like, and I feel like it's one of those things you see when they're younger. It's like you'll either need to become friends or you will when you get older. But I'm just glad they're able to like, once they kind of became young adults and actually have their own voice, and it's not just being annoying. Whatever, I'm gonna listen. Always get cool, interesting insight. Like they're young. I don't know. Makes me
Well,
so happy
because-
that y'all have grown close to this.
Yeah, the dynamic between Caleb and I, whenever my brother Caleb, whenever we were younger, it was the same thing. Him and I were, always at each other's throats, like fighting, never,
I play that towards a
never
family
wanted
dynamic.
to be never wanted to be around each other. But I feel like my point is bringing that up, and that was probably the same thing with y'all, where y'all probably, didn't interact well. You were probably, get away. I don't, don't bother me right now.
When we live together, I'm an older brother. So, there's a certain type of level of, not necessarily enforcement, but just like, hey, I'm older. My voice is bigger than yours.
Yeah.
But once we became adults, that no longer applies.
Yeah.
My voice is no longer bigger than his any more than his is bigger than mine.
Yeah.
We now see each other as equals. We now see each other as we both have valuable insight that can help the other person.
Yeah.
And once we realized that, then we were able to coexist in such a perfect way.
When I feel like, too, that with having an older brother, being the youngest of 4 and having two older brothers, it's all of that growing up and being the animosity or being at each other's throats, which is just typical, has made we wouldn't have been as close had we not had that, or that's made us that even closer, because it's like the stuff he said, the stuff he's done to me, the stuff I've done to him, we've done to each other.
Well, that's like the magical part of your bond that you can never have with anyone else.
No, it's like
all the shit that didn't matter. That's history that is so special and unique that as an adult you can embrace and understand, but you don't. You
are
have
not
that
going to understand
any
that
other
when you're
human.
You're not going to get that.
And I never had a brother, an actual brother I grew up with. I will never understand fully the depth that y'all can go to, which is really cool to embrace it, because
No, it is cool, and I know I know the feeling. I know because I couldn't imagine. I would hate being away from Chris and Caleb. Like, I could do it, but I would. The dude, she's wild. She has no rules. But I wouldn't necessarily like it if I could be around them. If I could be around them and do what I could to make it to where, hey, I'm in proximity of my brothers and I can see them and whatnot, I'd absolutely do it. So that's great.
He was coming over to my house 3 times a week, 4 times a week almost.
Oh, I know. Almost every time I'd come over here and I'd be like, "Where's Caleb?" If he wasn't in his room, he'd be like, "Oh, he's over at Pops's with Matthew," or he's out with Matthew and them doing something.
No, but I love that y'all became friends. Y'all became friends, which I loved seeing that. That really means a lot to me. But one thing, you said something I want you to always remember, just because I know you look at like your time in Dallas and you think about it as a bad and all this stuff, but think you and Caleb, this is the time where you and Caleb became that.
Oh, yeah.
And that might not happen in any other environment. So your time here might have literally just been for you and your brother to have an environment where y'all could become so close, and now you're moving. But so you can look back on Dallas, don't think about there was a whatever or all the negative things. Like, you getting that relationship with him is that happened here in this environment. Yeah, it's worth it all.
Worth everything that happened, 100%.
And that's awesome. And that's all I have to say. But you just said my time in Dallas because I know you've thought negatively, but it's like, dude, this is the magic that happened.
And so this is funny because you had 2 different perspectives. You had the perspective of Caleb, who was kind of bummed. It seemed like he was bummed to go out there to New Mexico.
Yeah, there's circumstances.
He was upset. Like, he was.
He was.
Yeah, they weren't. It wasn't like he chose. I want to move out there. But, it's kind of like, this is the best option for my life right now.
But at the end of the day, it's like he wasn't super, enthused about it or optimistic towards it. But I think it's cool that you're on the other side where you're like, hey, man, you're probably counting the days and ready to
get out he's going out there. He's got a job lined up.
Yeah.
Like,
We're gonna
I'm
get
sorry.
To all that.
Yeah.
We're going to get an apartment together and everything.
That's awesome.
If not, rent a house, because living out there is super cheap.
Probably. I was just going to say, and you're going to be going to where again?
Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Las Cruces, New Mexico. And I can imagine it's going to be cheaper. Probably going to have, you're going to get some badass pictures of the Honda out there.
Hey, I'm not gonna have some. I can't
wait.
I
can't wait to see the photos you're gonna have.
Just always lucky doors, and you should have some home protection. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
But yeah, so you're about to make that, and you say you got a job lined up.
Mm-hmm.
What's that job?
The TLDR is a helicopter technician.
Okay.
I'll be maintaining fleet helicopters.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
And operating the laser on the helicopter for about 6 hours a day, scanning for oil pipeline leaks wherever the client is in North America.
So will you be in the helicopter or you will be on the ground?
In the helicopter.
In the helicopter.
For about 6 hours a day.
Okay. That's awesome.
Has its perks. I love flying.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Have you done it a lot? Like, other than just like on commercial airlines?
No,
Like,
but
have you
I've
ever
gotten the opportunity to
flown-
fly like C-130 and whatnot. Living overseas in Germany when my dad was in the military and whatnot.
And that's what I was also going to talk about that I thought was interesting and
So
funny.
the camera can see what I'm dealing with because it's perfectly blocking them out. But now you can see. It's like, what's going on, dude? The monitor blocks it out perfectly. It's so funny. Like there's just two pugs, just like, oh.
Just having
but
a
yeah,
battle on
you keep
Matthew.
going. I just had to do that so that.
So let's see. I had a question lined up, and the pug battle got me.
Yeah, no.
Quit pugging around.
No, I know, right? Oh no, we were talking about flying. Germany. That was something I wanted to bring up. So you obviously being the older brother, were older when you were.
I'm sorry.
I already got you earlier, but you didn't.
We're sorry, Fox. This is hilarious.
I'm like, how do I man? Like, I need to make them go, but I love them so much. But it's like having two pugs wrestle on you is almost like a weird. People would pay for this.
We need
Put
to
it on
have
the Patreon.
No, people would pay for the experience of that if they could actually have two pugs wrestling on them.
They pay for goat yoga.
Yeah, they pay. There's places of puppies that you can go hang out with, and people pay to go and hang. Okay, yeah, keep going. I'm just sorry. This happens to be my experience right now.
You spent some of your formative years in Germany as well, right?
Pretty much all of my high school years, actually.
In Germany.
Mm-hmm. 9th grade through 12th grade.
What was your... I mean, I'm sure you loved it, or what? What was it?
Oh, I absolutely loved it. Looking back on it as an adult, I wish I would have done more. Obviously, when you're a teenager in these international countries, when you're an American, you tend to take certain things for granted and be like, oh, you just live it like you would here. Just your day-to-day life. If I had the opportunity to go back and be young like I was then, I would obviously do a lot more than I did. Go out, explore things, see the new castles, travel to different countries. There's a lot of times where my parents then would ask us to go somewhere. We're like, no, we don't play video games. Fuck that. We stay at home. And looking back on that, I wish I would have gone out. It was a fantastic experience. The food was immaculate.
Yeah.
The culture was fantastic. The people were awesome. Public transportation's sick over there, too. I mean, I could take a bullet train 45 minutes to Frankfurt, spend the day there, and come back for $15.
That's pretty cool.
There and back, 15 total.
It's really cool. I'm just happy that I had a sister live in Germany so I could visit.
Yeah,
because I went there at least
often did you
only
go there?
twice. I only went there twice, but for as long stays as I could do, at least close to a week, probably.
I think we're there longer than a week. You came for
Yeah, probably actually, because you think you go international, just adjusting to the jet lag and all that. So you get it was just not 2 weeks, but it had to be maybe close to it. I forget. It was cool though. It was really cool. I'm thankful. And I was an adult, so it's kind of like it's cool that you're mature and you see the things that you can't go back when young, but you can at least recognize. Okay, and if you ever have kids, then you can try and find a way to instill it in an interesting way. Because that's the way I think about it. Because I have a daughter who's a baby still. I think, okay, things that you might be against as a parent, how could I try and convince you to do it, but connect with you to do it?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying my sister did anything wrong, but it's more just like an approach. I'd like to think if I don't know. And the kid could still just be like, I don't want to, and you just let them do their own thing. And there could be all these emotional dynamics going on at the same time.
Because when you think about it, in the moment, you're there for 4 years. So your thought process is always, okay, well, we can just go next weekend,
Yeah.
Until you don't go next weekend. And you don't go the following weekend, or the following weekend. And then
you don't realize, man, that was the only time they're going to go.
Yeah. You don't think about it in the moment, because you're like, oh, I'm here for another 3 years. It's going to come back around again. We'll do it.
And
until you don't.
So you learned a lesson there, right?
100%.
When there's an opportunity, just take it. And don't think it might be another one.
I mean, you could walk everywhere there, everywhere.
Oh, I imagine.
All throughout Ramstein City. I mean, I'd walk by my little nearest Asian takeout place, grab some takeout, walk back home. All right, ride my bike down to the store, grab me some sodas, and walk back. It was super simple, super peaceful, super quiet.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
really quiet.
It's
I mean, Sundays nothing's open.
Yeah.
Not a single thing's open.
Dude, it's so quiet. It's weird.
You have sound ordinances where you have to keep under a certain sound level. You'll get a ticket on Sundays, but it's perfect.
Yeah.
You just go for a walk and you just hear the birds. You don't hear a single car, because I'm nowhere near an international highway. I mean, the only thing that's big highway-wise would be the Autobahn, but that was a solid 3 miles from me, 4 miles from me. Mm-hmm. You just didn't hear anything. Everybody was quiet. Everything was simple. You didn't really have to worry about crime at all, because every single German citizen minds their own business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see people kind of peeking over, the fences or whatnot,
worried,
looking for a
yeah.
wrong going. Everybody just, hello, and just walk about their day.
Going around
Exactly.
doing their thing.
Can you
Nobody's
leave
worried
my
about.
shoes alone, please?
Hey, the better your shoe, the Matt's lap,
Oh
I
my
guess.
gosh.
Plug fight.
Oh, 100%. I'll give you some pets. There you go. There you go.
Let's see. All right. So,
I just go throw them both over there.
you want to?
Yeah.
We'll take a quick break.
Yeah, we'll just transport them and then Stephanie
We'll take a quick break and we'll get the pug. Yeah, Stephanie hasn't seen the pug.
We're doing
Exactly.
a little pug transport session, boys.
It'll be her getting some quality
pug
time
time.
if she wants it or not. All right, bye.
And we're back. Yeah, we're doing all kinds of stuff, man. We're monkeying around. It
Black
was
magic,
fun, man.
Pugging around.
We're the pugs.
my
Good God. We gotta take. Should we take them to a group training class together? I don't know what they do.
That'll be fun.
Group training with the pugs? They'd probably just be off in the corner fighting.
We'd have to play the character of either helpless and have no idea what to do, but not have. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because we know what we'd be doing. And the way to have the most fun out of it is to be as helpless as possible. Like, oh my gosh, I can't control them, and then just let them do whatever they want. It's like, oh no, help me,
Help me, guys.
Yeah, instead of oh, I'm sorry, let me take my dog. Be like, I don't know what to do. Just be so helpless.
Ignorant.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So
all right. So let's get back into this. So we know that you're. We're talking a little bit about Germany, which I don't know if we want to keep talking about that.
Whatever questions you have, I'm here to answer.
Did you do any clubbing? Did you go to parties?
I did a lot of drinking.
Were the parties?
Yeah.
And the
So what
drinking and the
age were you
clubbing?
there? From what
was
age
that?
to what age? Just to give all the
So
listeners.
freshman year, roughly 15, 16.
So you were there from 15 to 18, almost 19.
19 years old? Yeah, about that time.
It was
I
a
turned
pretty
18 right when I moved
interesting time, but that's all. So having that in
Rona
mind.
hit middle of my senior year too. That sucked.
Oh.
It helped me graduate, but it sucked.
Dude, you benefited.
I benefited so hard from it, but it sucked from a personal
And were you in
relationship.
Germany?
Yeah.
When the Rona?
Yep, right when it hit full swing.
And how did how was it locally? What was it like there for y'all to have to
Everybody
for
shut
day-
down. Everything
day-to-day,
shut down.
everything?
Like every grocery
Were
store.
you able
every
to go
post
outside
office.
and do shit or what? What was the deal there?
Nobody was out. We weren't even really allowed to go outside.
Like go for walks? That's what I'm saying. Were there restrictions where it was you can't go out?
Heavily.
Okay.
So my school went completely online.
Okay.
So the DoD, Department of Defense, wanted to see how doing online school would work. See if they could reach their certain curriculum and their certain grade level that they wanted. So my senior year and all the seniors, in the Department of Defense, we were kind of I guess you could say guinea pigs. But the catch was they weren't allowed to fail us.
Yeah.
So if let's say I got an 85 in quarter 3. Quarter 4, if I got anything below an 85, I got an 85.
Very nice. I'm squished.
Dude, yeah.
Now, did that mean I skipped every single one of my classes? Hell yes. Did that mean that every other kid skipped every other class? Hell yes.
Yeah, dude.
But the Department of Defense doesn't want to let
fail
the
anybody.
world know
They
that
wouldn't fail
their little test project failed, which is why they were forced to pass everybody. Because how does it look for the Department of Defense if all of a sudden all their seniors failed their final quarter?
They knew in that senior year they had a check written out saying you graduated before they even had to earn it.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
crazy.
I would log into my Google Meets, turn off my camera, turn off my mic.
It's a nuts
and then you get the teacher
situation.
everybody turn on their cameras. Nobody turned them on. Not a single time.
They can't arrest us all, man.
Literally.
They can't arrest us all,
of course
man.
you had your little goody.
Somebody cuts on the camera. Turn your fucking camera off, man.
Of course you had your goody two shoes. Your super smart kids that took
Yeah,
it
the
super
kids
seriously.
was thank God because they're smart. They're smart. They knew what they were getting out of it, but it was great that you took advantage of it.
I played so many video games, bro. Me and my brother were holed in our basement for probably 5 months straight. The only time we would leave was to get food or to go get soda from the store.
That's the government. They shouldn't have let that happen. But
Government.
I'm glad you were able to take advantage of it.
Because you don't have AC over in Germany. So
Yeah, you don't
when
have
it
AC
starts
over
getting warm, the house starts to get warm. It's 75 outside.
Couldn't
at
imagine.
a
That
certain
sounds
point,
awful.
It gets hot, but they have ways to kind of combat that. You have what's called rollodins. Imagine blinds like these, except that instead of it being like that, they kind of roll down in front of the window. You have a little pull.
Okay, that makes
they roll down in
sense.
front of the window.
I see.
So
but
what
they're
you do
more
is-
like up Canada. If
Yeah.
you imagine Canada where New York is, so they're cooler all the time. But
So what you would do is at 5 in the morning, before the sun even comes out, where it's nice, cool, crisp outside, the dew's still on the ground, open up all your windows, all your doors. Let all that cool air come in, right when you start to see the sun start to rise, close all those doors, shut the Roladins, black out everything.
Yeah.
And then I just go sit in the basement because the basement is probably 50, 60 degrees.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it would stay that way most of the day. Highest it would get be 70, 75. But with us playing video games, it started to get a little toasty in there because we sweaty teenagers just sitting there all day long. Just
very hot. It's the basement. Playing the game.
It's smart. There's tactics that you can use to maximize not spending energy or money on an AC or whatever. They're forced to. But it'd be like, there's practices you could do here and save so much money.
When you said no AC, the one thing that came to my mind, how you were like, no AC in the homes there in Germany, it was the episode of, what was Documentary Now when they're doing the Vice News episode, drones, and he's in
Jack Black. It was like the making of
they
it.
go in what's it called, the home, and he's like, this is how far you can spread your arms in a hallway.
It's just like a normal looking hallway, but they're just like so dumb. Yeah,
and then
dude, you need to watch that.
Oh man, he loves that. Oh
so
god,
funny.
but either way, so yeah, that's crazy, but that does make sense the way you would time closing those things up right when the sun's coming up.
I didn't go into my room for the final 4 months I lived there. Because me and my brother lived on the top floor. So heat rises.
Top floor of how many floors?
That top floor.
No, paint the picture for listener, because this was more stories than I've ever experienced.
Okay, so
but not in like a way you'd think.
Germans like to maximize the amount of houses they can fit in an area. Because Germany's a small country, so you kind of have to, or else you start running out of space and land for people to live in. So instead of being big, sprawling houses like we have in America, super wide.
They were vertically.
They were vertically big.
Smart.
So you'd walk in, you have a basement floor here, and then you have a floor above that, and then a floor above that. So it's technically a 4-story building if you count the basement. So that top floor, albeit that top floor is not very big. I mean, that top floor is probably the size of this room, that room, and a bathroom. Okay. Maybe. Yeah. But every single ounce of heat goes straight to the top. So that room probably gets to 90, 95 degrees in there. But that basement, my man, that basement stays nice, chilly, and cool. We even had our own bathroom down there, too. So we didn't have to go upstairs a single time if we didn't want to.
It's pretty cool. It's interesting.
Had its perks,
cool,
100%. Had its perks. Very small homes, but very
You think you want to move back there?
100%.
You want to go live there?
I would.
Retire there?
I just have to make sure I have decent internet.
No way.
I had
no way.
I 100% would go back to Germany.
I mean, you would, but you wouldn't go out of your way to do it.
If I had a job that wanted me to go out there, I would have 100% do it. I enjoyed the shit out of it.
That's cool, but then what? You could bring your brother? You miss your brother right away.
If Caleb didn't come with me, I wouldn't do it. But if me and Caleb were able to go out there together, we would 100% do it. I think
it's worthy of living it again. Living there again.
Yeah, it's completely.
It's
worth
worth it.
We know you live there, but now you're here, and we're gonna talk a little bit. We're not gonna go too deep, should we? Unless we want to go too deep into his backstory, we'll go.
No, it's interesting, but where your head's at now is more interesting.
Yeah,
isn't
I think it is.
And I want you to talk about where your head's at now, what you've learned about life. You know?
Well, what I was gonna say is that it's like
what
recently you had just been working. What job? What'd you been doing?
I worked as a fleet mechanic for the city of Dallas.
For the city, and how was that?
It has its ups and its downs. The coworkers that I worked with for the past year and a half were amazing over at Hensley Field in Grand Prairie. They were amazing. So I worked at 2 different service centers. I worked at Southwest Service Center, which was over in Oak Cliff, and then they moved me over to Grand Prairie and Hensley Field. Southwest was a little bit to be desired. Most of the coworkers were a lot older than me, so
what exactly did you do? Like, what is the detail? Just because I know, but like what?
So at Southwest, I was more of a glorified lube tech. Did a lot of oil changes, tire rotations,
for city vehicles.
Yeah, all city vehicles.
So like, what's the city vehicle like? And what's the most?
I mean, it could range
like
from
code compliance cars to
any and all.
To code compliance all the way to like a dump truck.
Sanitation trucks, dump trucks, rear loaders.
Really? So you had
cranes.
boring cars, and you had really unique ones that would come through.
Yes, but I hated working on those big trucks. They were awful.
I bet they were, but they were cool to see the insides. The first time was cool.
The first time was cool,
and
but
then
after a while,
that,
you kind of dread when they show up.
Yeah.
You really dread when they show up, especially during the summer.
Which is it?
Because during the summer, when those sanitation trucks show up,
Oh.
all the trash,
hot as
dude.
shit,
I
stinky,
remember
nasty.
replacing hydraulic lines on the sanitation trucks, except you can't get to them without crawling in this door that's about this big.
That's
except
cool.
the moment you crawl in there, right above you is where the trash compactor is for the rear loader. Nothing but maggots.
Dude, I can't
in my
imagine,
hair, on
man.
my arms, on my shirts.
I mean,
awful.
the garbage
Awful.
trucks. That makes sense.
Downright atrocious.
It's literally the garbage trucks.
And then the moment I get done working with that, they give me an F-150. It just does a complete 180.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's cool, though.
Any and all city vehicle ranging from DPD vehicles like...
What's the coolest car you worked on?
Honestly, the DPD vehicles are really sick.
Okay, what's cool about those?
So there's what's interesting for me is the wiring aspect. I really love the intricacies of like how complex certain vehicles can get, especially when you take like a base vehicle. Like let's say take a base Tahoe. There's a lot going on electronics wise, compared to your average vehicle because it's a lot newer.
Like new, like modern, like recent release ones.
But then you're adding in a light bar up top. You're adding in lights on the front, lights on the back. You're adding in a radio. You're adding in a computer. You're adding in a push.
And how do they wire and power and how's all that stuff?
You're adding
almost like a home theater system,
cards.
but in a car.
Exactly. You're adding fuel. You're adding fuel rings, so that way we can get gas, and that's got to be wired a certain way. And you got your canvas codes. You have to make sure you do correctly, or else the fuel circle's not going to work.
You see the connection between that and building a computer?
100%. It's 100%.
Because you like building computers.
And if I don't put one like wire in the right spot, everything that I did is not going to work. Like if I'm installing basically, in order to get gas for a city vehicle, you have to have a fuel card assigned to the vehicle. Now we have what's called VIBs. VIBs basically, when you put in the gas nozzle on the vehicle, over at any city service centers have a gas stations specifically meant for city vehicles. You can only get gas from those service centers. No other place you can get it because you get it for free. Now what happens is on these gas nozzles, they have a little reader on them that reads the VIB ring once you kind of put it into the gas nozzle in order to get gas. Now, if that vehicle does not have a VIB ring or doesn't have a fuel card assigned to it, no gas. You have to install that VIB ring, run the wires up into the dash, attach the VIB, then you got to attach the ignition to the VIB, canvas codes to the VIB, make sure it's programmed correctly, make sure you test drive it correctly, and then once it's good, you take it over there, make sure it gets gas, and call it a day. Now, if you get a brand new city vehicle and you find out something's not working, all of a sudden you've got to delve through a crap ton of extra wiring that wasn't there as a stock vehicle because you need to get the lights
So
to
I'm going
work.
to tell you right now, though, that's all incredibly fascinating, but you know what the more fascinating thing to me is? So you've taken it upon yourself, and I love Caleb, but you've chosen a path where you've learned a lot of stuff. You've learned a lot of stuff, and you're speaking of... You don't need to go to high school to be smart and learn things, but you have to... So it shows that you have initiative to grab, and you took the training that they offered, and you learned a lot. Like, you know so much about things I would never know, to details where you could teach people, which is I love. Like, I love seeing that your grasp of knowledge and that you really get into it and passionate about understanding it, because it's relevant. And I'm just saying I'm incredibly proud of you because, and hopefully you'll help Caleb, because Caleb's so smart.
I try.
He is smart, but dedication and sticking, that's a whole different thing to learn. But I love, you are smart and you're dedicated, and I'm just want to commend you. And I just see that because you're speaking a different language to me. I don't know if you're you know more about cars than me.
Yeah, I have an idea, but I mean, as far as wiring goes, for me, it's something I don't fuck with, just because it's like, I can figure it out if I spend the time and sit there.
You're more about the motor and all that stuff. He gets
engine,
to, the electronics, too.
Well, mechanical stuff, all the suspension, shit like that. I mean, anything I can do pretty much any of it. I've pulled engines.
I enjoy wiring a lot.
I've
more than
rebuilt
working on a motor or working the physical aspect of a car, the shock, sway bars. I enjoy the wiring aspect a lot more than I enjoy.
That's cool.
See, I enjoy I don't mind necessarily pulling all the shit apart and putting as long as I'm adding new shit. I hate pulling it apart to replace stupid broke shit. And then I'm like,
the installation for the wiring sucks, but the taking it out, it's so much fun. Because you just go snip, 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 pull out.
Yank.
All the city vehicles that we defleet. So defleeting is where they basically take off everything the city put on it, so that way we can put it on an auction line. When we take it all out,
defleeting,
we're literally just snip, 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 pull off the light bar, call it a day.
So it's like a vasectomy.
Most of the wiring that we put in is still in there, but it's not connected to anything.
So that's if somebody were to buy a charger from the city, there's a lot of free wiring set up in there.
100%. If somebody were to buy a DPD vehicle that was defleeted and they were to pull out the dash, you'd see probably an extra couple pounds of wiring that wasn't supposed to be in there, because we're not going to go in there and pull it all out. We're just pulling out certain aspects of it. We're just pulling out the fuel ring. We're just pulling out the little VIB box. We're just taking off the lights, taking off the sirens.
And that just shows waste. That's so wasteful.
100%.
But the city, they write it off. It's already spent. It's already written off. It didn't matter. So that's just incredibly wasteful. It's crazy.
We're supposed to take it out. They tell us to take it out.
Yeah.
But it
obviously
becomes
they
a
didn't
problem
seem to enforce
when
it.
they expect us to completely defleet a vehicle in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
When we have to take
They
off...
give you an impossible
Because we can't
task.
scratch the paint, so we have to take off all the decals without scratching the paint. We have to take out the light bar, we have to take off the push bar, the sirens, the radio, the computer. All that stuff's going to take infinitely longer than an hour and a half to do it correctly.
Yeah.
Could you do it in an hour and a half? Sure. Is that paint going to be recognizable? No. Because I'm going to take that razor and I'm just going to go decal off.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Hour and a half done.
Gone. Yeah, exactly.
So it's more of a mismanaged thing, I think.
Yeah.
Politics. City politics, baby.
Do you feel like that was they were bad, the city politics, whenever it came to like your line of work and what you were doing and what they affected?
Oh,
you?
100%. First of all, I don't think the city knows how to manage their employees correctly.
I see.
Like,
how so?
We only got 2 holidays off the entire year.
What?
Thanksgiving, Christmas. Or sorry, and New Year's, 3.
But whenever you took the job, that was laid out in front of you, right?
100%. And I kind of
So you took a job knowing that was the case.
Because, I mean,
so I wouldn't hold that against him.
It was a government position. It was a government position.
I'm just saying, if you know that when you take the job, you can't really complain
like
about
kind of signed up for it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, it's like, it doesn't mean
okay,
you can't,
but what are
doesn't mean you can't
things
have a
that like
question
you
about it,
didn't
though.
sign up for? That
To sit there and pick up oil spills for a year and 8 months and not use my wrenches at all?
Okay.
Like, I could show you a picture of the $5,000 worth of tools I have, and I can
That's
count
what I'm
on
talking.
these hands how many times I've actually used them at Hensley Field.
So it's like
At
you were hired
Southwest,
to
I
do a
used-
job that you didn't even have to do, and they had you doing BS because...
Yeah, so like at Southwest, I was wrenching a little bit, doing your oil changes, your tire rotations. That's where I was doing, fleet work, I guess you could say. Hensley Field is what they call make ready. That's where we get the vehicles ready to go into service, and that's where we get the vehicles to go out of service. So every new city vehicle you've seen comes through my shop. Every city vehicle you buy off of an auction left my shop. Now, I got moved there without choice. They said, you're going to Hensley next Monday? Deuces. And I was like, cool. The job was super easy.
Yeah.
But it was in no way enticing whatsoever. I hopped in an environmental truck, drove outside, put some absorbent on some oil, scrubbed it up, moved on to the next one. For a year and 8 months. Every day. Now, I'm not going to lie. Towards the end of my tenure,
it was pretty easy to take advantage
I became
of.
so fed up with it, I stopped doing it. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't just sit there and pick up oil spills all day, every day. After I'd already applied to get promoted twice.
Yeah.
After I know I have the qualifications. Because they sent me to classes and been like, here's a $25,000 class. Okay, bet. Can I apply for a position to use it? Sure, you can apply for it. Did I get it? Nope, you don't have the qualifications. Huh?
Yeah.
How does that make any sense to me?
Sounds like terrible management of a local
doesn't-
government.
It doesn't compute with me at all how you're going to waste money. Not even necessarily wasting money, but spend the money and spend the energy and spend the time to send these peoples to these classes. And then turn around and say, hey, look, we know we sent you to this class and we want you to learn this information. Sorry, we're not going to give you the position to use it.
Man, and I'm against... It just makes an interesting argument for privatized... I'm not saying I'm for it, but it just shows if there's not privatizing things, there's no incentive to make things efficient. There's no cost. They're not like whoever the boss is. There's no in the private sector. You have to be profitability. You like or people lose their jobs.
Can move in and take your job.
So that just shows
somebody else come in and take it.
There were perks to the city.
Yeah.
No, there were perks because you couldn't get fired.
I couldn't get fired. Like you really had to do something wrong to get fired. Like one of my coworkers
to get kicked out at
it's
Chuck
like
E.
being
Cheese.
it's like a union almost.
Well, one of my coworkers actually bowed up on my boss once.
Oh, I've seen dudes
he
get
just
in
got
a fight
transferred
at UPS. And
Exactly.
That was it. I mean,
It had its perks. I had a set schedule the entire time. For the past 2 years, I've worked Monday to Friday, 6:30 to 3. That's
It was a great schedule.
Great schedule. I'm gonna give
It was
you that
really
schedule.
great. It was actually pretty sweet, other than like no personal development and growth.
Yeah, I didn't get any
the cost
growth
of that,
whatsoever.
but it was like still it was a great thing for some people. But I'm glad you recognize
paid
that.
$20 an hour to kind of sit on my butt, which I mean I can't complain in the aspect, even though my paychecks didn't reflect $20 an hour.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I also pissed me off about the city a lot was their employee retirement fund that they have. I can't choose whether or not I want to be in it. It's mandatory.
Really?
So every paycheck, I was losing $300-400 straight to retirement fund that I had no choice whether or not I wanted to be in or not.
I bet cops and stuff have the same sort of thing because I know they have huge funds with stuff like that. So that makes sense
when I worked for
it's
Nissan
like a tax.
before I
It's
moved
a
here,
tax.
I made $15 an hour. My paychecks roughly came out to almost $1,100 paycheck. I didn't complain about that. $15 an hour, cool. I can show you my last pay stub, making $20 an hour. My paycheck was $11.96.
The
Where does the
taxes,
$5 extra go? How am I
Yeah.
only making $100 more?
I mean,
but
it's
yet
all
making
there. It's all
$5
there in
more
your
an
pay
hour?
stub. You can see the details.
I know, and I was losing
It's crazy.
$400 a month. To,
The
to,
devil is
employee
in the
retirement fund.
details, as
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders
But it's
always
those
says.
funds
No, obviously,
that they're all working for because that's the thing. I guess people stick it out, not developing, just because if they stick it out, they get to like eat into
once
that,
you-
and that's how
once
they
you hit
retire
that-
for the
once you hit
city.
that- once you hit that 5-year mark, you're vested in the retirement fund, which is cool. I'm not gonna lie, that's cool.
Is cool, but you see that that's
But
gonna
I knew I
that's
wasn't gonna be
hampering
there
your
5
growth,
years.
and
I
like
knew I wasn't gonna be there 5
Yeah.
years, so I didn't care.
so that's cool. I'm glad you recognize that, and it's a growing thing, and you got to learn a lot.
Yeah, like I
so
pulled
it's
out-
pretty cool.
I
There's a
pulled out
lot
my
to take away
retirement.
from it.
I'm waiting for them to mail me the check. I pulled out the retirement. Sure,
Yeah.
they're gonna tax it 20%, but I'm getting $6,500 that I didn't have.
I was gonna say you're gonna get some money.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I would have much rather probably had it in my paycheck every single month, honestly, because I could have used it a lot more then, but neither here nor there, honestly.
Yeah, and that's
I've
already in
learned
the
a lot
past.
working for the city. I've met a bunch of people, some of my best friends I've ever had. You know, I've worked
That's
with.
cool.
I even went to lunch with or breakfast with them on Saturday before I got my tattoo.
Nice.
Like we hung out outside of work. We did a lot of things. One of my coworkers actually helped me rebuild my motor a month and a half ago.
Awesome.
So
I'm
I've
gonna
met
say,
a
you know,
lot
that
of people.
speaks
It has
more
its
to
perks.
you as a person and connecting with people,
Yeah, for
regardless
sure.
of where you're at.
Yeah, it has its perks, but it has its drawbacks.
Yeah. Yeah, as anything
Yeah.
might have, and so. What
You
you
got-
got? You get some questions.
I mean,
Bob. You
I
jump in
mean,
there.
I don't want to pry. But
no, I would like. Go ahead.
okay.
Oh,
I
you
mean,
can pry as deep as y'all want. I'm an open book.
no, I want. What's the most interesting thing like you care about that you want to tell me that you've never told me, right now?
Whoa. Okay.
That you be willing to share. It doesn't have to be personal, but I'm just like, what are you?
I've
what,
never
what-
told you.
Yeah, I might know. I don't know. Or like, what can you share? You could have told me. I don't know.
Like I think he's more or less talking about interesting.
Or
shit.
just like your
Shit that
perspective,
maybe,
or like you
yeah.
have a shift in perspective
Like
on
he's talking
life.
about like life shit.
Yeah, life. Think
Not like
big
weird
picture. I'm
shit.
sorry. I should make it easier to understand. Mikey can.
Is there a certain level of
It does
like,
not
like
anything.
for the podcast I can't say or can't say?
No, say whatever
You can
you
say
want.
whatever you want, dude.
Whatever
I've learned a
you're
lot from
comfortable
being,
with.
I guess you could call a recovering addict.
Okay.
I've learned
okay.
a lot. Beginning of last year, towards the middle of last year, I mean, you know this. I was doing a lot of hard shit. A lot.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if you knew the extent of it, but I mean, I was doing LSD every weekend for like 6 months straight.
Yeah.
And when I say like LSD, I mean
Oh yeah.
1,300 UGs, dropping 6-7 tabs at once, 7-8 tabs at once, not caring at all, completely losing my mind. You know, doing, you know, coke,
Yeah.
ketamine, 2CB, salvia,
Yeah.
you know, all that shit. And it took a toll. It took a really big toll
Yeah.
on me. One, I became a lot less distant from all of y'all. I got introduced to a lot of people I shouldn't have met. I
Yeah.
really shouldn't have met because it just fueled the fire.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It fueled the fire over
The
and
company
over
you
and
keep,
over
right?
again.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you know, I started to develop somewhat of a speech impediment slightly. I would speak faster than I could think because I felt like my mind was slowing down. So I'd stumble over my words hard.
That's the way.
You've probably heard me say this before, but I'd be like, I can't English today. That's because I could not speak. Like I would just lose complete train of thought of what I was saying.
Yeah.
And just completely lose it. And I couldn't handle it anymore. I mean, I was
I'm
candy
glad
flipping.
you recognize that.
I was a cocktail of substances at one point. I'd be like hitting a line of ketamine and then being like, you know what? Let me drop Molly now. Boom. And then I'm in the middle of my Molly and, you know, ketamine experience. And I'm like, you know what? This coke looks kind of cool. And then I'm like, this kind of feels weird. And I'm just like, losing myself. Hard to
Why
breathe.
am I know it's running.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, whoa, why can't I breathe? Or, you know, I'm dropping 7 tabs of acid and 3 points of Molly at once. Completely geeked out.
Yeah.
Like,
And the diminishing returns happen quickly.
oh, yeah. When
Yeah,
you reach a
dude,
certain
with that
point
sort
where
of thing, dude, the tolerance builds up so fast.
So fast.
It's ridiculous.
What for doing stuff
All
like
that stuff.
Yeah.
I could show
It could be like and you're always chasing the dragon. You're always chasing, that role. So you take like more X and more Molly, and it'll be great. But like you're always chasing like the magical memory of it.
Yeah.
And that's like a thing, you know. And tripping is a unique thing because it's not like something you can actually become physically addicted to, But so if you're doing it that much, it's like the party crowd, or are you just trying to escape
Let me see if I can
something?
find a very
Because like you can't become physically addicted to it. But it's interesting that you did that much, because I've done it so many times. But I don't enjoy acid. I mean, I have, but it's not a huge thing.
Let me see if
I
can
believe in
find a very-
microdosing, right? But not acid though. Shrooms. I think
No,
there's
yeah.
actually a benefit to
There's a huge benefit. I believe,
microdosing
to mushroom
psilocybin
stuff. Yeah.
I think like you control it. I think there's crazy benefits, but you have to be very, very controlled with it.
Yeah, you have to be controlled and you have to be mindful and.
Yeah,
you know.
you're not trying to party. Like
There was
it's
one time where I looked at my Cash App, and I looked at this recently, and I looked at who I had, sent the most amount of money
Yeah.
to. On just LSD alone, in the span of 4 months, I
Let's-
sent $600 to one person over a span of 4 months on straight LSD.
I want to edit that out.
No, I mean, whatever you want. That's great. I
wanna
just
edit
like
that out.
4 months, $600. I was.
Yeah.
I'm like,
let's not.
I've done. I mean, that's. I'm glad that's big to you.
Yeah, let's.
If you want to edit it out, it's fine. Just
No, yeah.
little tit for tat.
No, I just
There's
don't.
no information there.
No,
You're just no. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
You're out of that, and you see the net. You've learned from all that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, wait. Yeah. Or
Now,
yes.
Now
or no.
I've taken my peace and taken like my own understanding of myself very seriously. Like I don't hang out with anybody. I don't go out. I don't go do things. I just stay home, just chill, play video games, hang out with my cat. Like I've done a complete 180 than what I used to be. I used to go out every weekend, car meets all the time, hang out with people, go to parties, do all these types of things, and I've done a complete power shift to now I don't do anything.
Yeah.
And that's also taken a little bit of a toll on me too at the same time.
Yeah.
So I've now seen the other side of the spectrum of what it's like to
Yeah,
literally
you
do
got to
nothing.
get back out there. Exactly.
Now
yeah.
I find
it's
it
a
hard
balance.
to-
You have
Yeah.
to find that balance of going back
Yeah.
out there without going all the way back out there.
Exactly.
Like you can get back out, hang out with your buddies, do your thing, stuff like that, but you don't gotta, it's like Matt said too. It's important with the company you keep and noticing and recognizing sometimes around, in those certain situations or scenarios to avoid those people and avoid putting yourself in those situations where you feel like it can turn into kind of that what it was or those bad
I don't even
days or
drink.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
I
which
won't
is
even
great.
touch alcohol. I won't touch alcohol.
Yeah.
You put it in front of me, I'll just push it away.
And-
That's great.
Yeah,
I
and I
can't
think it's great.
stand it.
You don't like it? That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm
I
not,
want
I'm
a
not
couple
against it,
Angry
but like
Orchards
if,
here and there,
Yeah.
if it didn't work for
flavored
you,
apple juice basically.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm like,
yeah, no,
I
your
don't like the feeling.
commitment.
I don't like being drunk.
Yeah,
Makes me
honestly,
feel
I
weird.
generally
I'm like, nah,
don't either.
I'm
It's
good.
funny.
I'm good.
Even though I drink, because I used to drink like liquor every day, and I would do it, but I didn't necessarily like it, and so it's weird because being like the moment you just kind of notice, it's like, okay, maybe I'm talking, I'm not worrying about what I'm saying as much, but I'm like less skilled at everything I'm normally, whatever proficiency at. It's like it is great, but like for me, it's kind of just bothers. It's a weird thing. It doesn't matter, but you know that it's obvious. But at the same time, it's kind of like it bothers me.
The last time I got no kidding drunk was last December, and ever since then I was like, I can't do this anymore. And that was when I decided to do moonshine on an empty stomach.
Yeah, so you've learned a lot from substances and all those things. I want to say that movie I was talking about, Bliss. You need to watch that because it's literally speaking to like an addict, or like knowing someone that's an addict, or if you've dealt with addiction. The movie is literally about addiction, and like crazy ways of representing it. It's so powerful. It's so powerful because like the power and like how addiction can control people and how it's. They're still them like human. They still have to own their decisions. But like if you've actually, I've dealt with addiction in my own way, and I know I don't know if I mean there's so much genetic stuff and not genetic stuff. I don't know how much to buy into any of it. But I just know you can just like look at. I know I've dealt with stuff. I know you've dealt with stuff. Like I don't if like people are predisposed. Yeah, that's like it's proven genetically or enough data. Either way, it's powerful.
Yeah, because there's more than just a physical addiction.
Yeah.
There's, psychological addictions, emotional
That's-
addictions, and whatnot. Like, you take LSD, for example. You can't get
That's the
physically
thing,
addicted
exactly.
to that.
Like, yeah.
But you can get addicted to that feeling
Mhm.
of what you're seeing,
Yeah,
of what
the
you're
experience
hearing.
of the experience.
Yeah, because I haven't been physically addicted.
You wanted to go back
That's
to that
what I've dealt
place.
with, too. The psychological stuff.
Yeah, it took me a while to get over that.
That's like me. Well, I had. I'm going to be honest with you guys right now, since we're all just coming out and sharing things. I had that same issue with Mothman, I just kept going back and I kept watching it and watching it.
Yeah.
And I just kept chasing that same experience I had that first time, and I found it every single time.
Yeah.
And
I think that's powerful. I think that is very powerful, Mikey, and
I think it's Richard Gere.
Them are the gerbils.
I think it's Richard Gere, man.
It's good. It's good you bring up Mouthman. Because life is heavy, and I'm glad you've
Life
learned
is heavy.
from it. I'm glad you've learned from it, and there's
It
a lot
is.
for you to take from.
No, it really is. I'm glad you're not a.
And I'm proud of you. I'm
Yeah.
incredibly proud of you because it's not.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, me as well.
Sober for a year and a half.
There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, dude, it's.
But you know the one thing you haven't been sober from, you've just been a habitual user of video games.
That's not changing.
Let's talk about your video game habits.
Yeah.
Because you're a big gamer. You're a big time gamer. You and your brother. You're wearing a shirt, are you not? What's your shirt you're wearing?
This is a shirt from my esports organization I am a part of called Bear Claw Esports.
There we go.
Bear
If you want
Claw?
to look them up real quick on Google, you can. Pull up the website for the viewers.
Let's plug
Yeah,
them.
yeah, keep talking. I'll look it up.
Bear Claw?
Bear Claw Esports.
No, yeah.
So I went to
Esports, it's
high
your
school.
team?
I went to high school with the owner of the organization.
Okay.
Her name is Harley Parks. One of
Harley
the
Parks.
very few female-owned esports organizations out there, if not the only one that's actually successful.
Okay.
We were sponsored by Razer at one point. I think Mighty Mouse Game. We have a couple of our sponsors on the back here. I had a Destiny 2 team with them at one point. We're actually working on upgrading the website, so you actually might not see me on there yet. We had a Destiny 2 at one point when Destiny 2 was big. And then right now we have a team for the finals. We have a team for Apex, I believe. I think it's
So the
Valorant.
website shows Valorant, Overwatch.
Yeah, so
or is your main
we're
two?
working on that, updating that right now.
Yeah.
We kind of dropped that Overwatch team. They were a little interesting.
Yeah. That's cool, dude.
I started playing Overwatch recently with my buddies. I'm not even ranked yet, but I just played with that Torbjorn guy. The guy
Torbjorn.
that
He's a lot of fun,
set
dude.
up
He's-
the
Torbjorn's
he just
great,
set up
dude. I
the
love
turret,
Torbjorn.
and then I played with him for
He
so
set up the
long,
turrets, yeah.
and then finally one day I pulled left trigger and he shot the shotgun blast, and I was like, does Torbjorn shoot a shotgun
You
when I
didn't
pull
know
left
that you had
trigger?
that ability?
And Jeff was like, would y'all fucking teach Mikey how to play the game? Because we're playing.
You started playing for months and you didn't even know your
no,
full
I was playing
abilities?
I'm playing all the way up until I get ranked, so I can play ranked games with them.
That shows that you should be really good if
buddies
you were
so-
functioning well.
My buddies were so focused
just-
on.
I was charging.
My buddies were so focused on winning the fucking
Did they
match
carry
that
you?
didn't matter. No.
Oh, okay.
The match, they were so focused on winning these matches that didn't matter, that were just there for me to play to get my rank, that they weren't even teaching me how to play the character. So Jeff is like, y'all just need to be teaching Mikey how to play. And instead y'all are worried about winning casual matches.
That's
And
awesome.
he thought it was hilarious because I had already played, I think he went and looked.
Yeah,
and it
some
had
people
been
are
like
just
20
sweats
games.
and they sweat shit they don't
I
need
get it, though,
to.
because as a competitive player, I mean, you remember when I played competitive D2? I mean, I was top
Yeah.
500 at one point. When you play something that competitively, you can't switch it off.
Yeah,
You can't-
every game,
There's-
every match is you're trying to
There's-
refine.
There's no physical way to switch off that competitiveness in you. I have the drive to win the game every single time.
There's
And I
a
can't-
way to not switch it off, but you can control how. Okay, I'm gonna always go
How
balls
much
to
you
the wall,
care.
but I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna manage the way I interact with people in a more productive way. Like I'm gonna go balls to the wall. I'm gonna try and impart knowledge in a way that they might be receptive
of
to.
course, but I mean, like, just from an aspect of trying to win every
No,
single
yeah.
game.
I mean, you know me. I mean, I got you, and it just needs like. It's funny how much video games. I mean, it's like there's more evidence of video games to me than I talk about.
I mean, he knows
because
how
I
hard
go
I took
balls
on
to the wall.
Destiny 2. I play PvP all day,
Oh, yeah.
every day. I mean, I used to do trials carries for money.
Did you ever win?
Yeah, all the time.
Dang.
That's the whole thing.
There were even cash tourneys I was a part of for Destiny 2.
Yeah,
Where, I
no.
played against. I don't know if you've heard of Panda or whatnot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I played against Panda a couple times. Grenadier Jake, all them boys.
Yeah, Grenadier Jake.
I played against streamers all the time. You reach a certain point where you kind of feel good when you load into a match against a
Yeah.
streamer and they're like, oh shit, it's Applebee's.
Because you want to give them run for the money. Because the streamers carrying, they might be trying to double carry. They probably have a decent person, and they're definitely carrying. So there's definitely like an exposed weakness on teams. So it's
Yeah.
like the streamers can do so much, but if they have come against certain players, be like, okay, if
There's
there's
nothing
like
they can do.
really good guy and there's like two decent guys, they could
There was
easily beat a streamer, but they have to be smart and know how to play it.
So I've heard there's this website that you can go look up. You can go look up streamers like that you've killed while playing games.
Destiny Trials Report does that.
Like, so Caleb, one of our friends went and looked up and saw like some clip that apparently Caleb killed some
really
streamer
cool.
while he was live streaming. It was like him in a car with some dudes or something. And I guess the way Caleb killed, he smoked like all 4 of these dudes or something. And they lost their shit.
Dude,
This guy was apparently he like raged or whatever.
PUBG?
Yes, it was in PUBG.
I mean,
yeah.
I posted on my Instagram me killing streamers before.
Yeah, but you're saying there's a site that automates it.
Yeah, there's a site where you can just type in like your gamer tag, I guess, and then it'll go and pull up, I guess, if you've killed some streamer while they were live streaming or some shit.
Dude.
Either way.
And that shit's only get better with AI.
And
you know, I hate AI.
we were talking about stuff too, and this is what I never even told you, but we were talking about controllers, and one of the things I was going to say is I'm at the point where I have so many controllers, and I'm about to buy a new controller, and I pretty much have a graveyard like anybody. Like anybody, I have a graveyard of controllers, and right
literally
here
like a
we've got
section
one,
of my
we've
desk
got
for controllers.
2, 3, we
4,
got 6
multiple consoles, but yeah,
6
still
controllers.
it just shows you.
But yeah,
And then that bad boy's the main controller.
and then we got the life controller. We have the life controller as well.
That's the life protect your family.
Yeah, but yeah, it's
That's
like
the ultimate controller right
so. Point is that I'm at the point where I'm like, I am just gonna buy a new controller, but with all the old ones I have, I'm like, I'm about to just take these things apart and figure out how to fix them.
Mikey,
Or just make the switch to M&K.
Because it's like, huh?
Make the switch to M&K.
What do you
Mouse
mean?
and keyboard. You don't have a
keyboard.
You don't have a
Oh,
computer.
You don't ever have to buy a new controller again if you never break a
No,
keyboard.
but I get like
Yeah.
I'm a console. I'm always be console
love
at heart.
console, yeah.
Like if you're, so you have to know there's a different style of game. Like
Absolutely.
and so just knowing that he's always gonna be a console gamer.
I'm always, absolutely. I'm always going to be console. Like I finally just gotten a computer not long ago. My brother-in-law hooked me up with one, and
Now get yourself on Amazon. See this kit here? Literally an Xbox controller take apart kit.
Really?
Like special tools. Literally just open up Xbox controllers.
okay, because I was
And I
going
got
to say
extra
like,
Xbox controllers parts. I've fixed bumpers. I've replaced things. I've gotten salvage controllers to fix stuff because I
dude,
spent so
I
much
was
on
about to
stuff.
say I'm at that point where I'm
Dude,
about to
I've
just
been
start
at that
fixing
point.
controllers.
And look, see all these extra pieces? Like,
yes, I see that.
so we need to talk.
No, we do need to talk, dude. Because
I've been in this.
I'm
for
at
a
this
while.
point where I'm like, dude, I'm tired of buying controllers for one bumper or
There's
for a
like people
joystick.
aren't willing to get to that point.
Huh?
Most people, average consumers, are not willing to like. I'm gonna look up
No.
tools. I'm gonna look up videos how to open these up and how to
Well,
fix
because
them.
it would be
That's
so
where I'm at.
awesome if you knew where like you were playing and your bumper stops working, and then you knew that like what the problem is, and it's like, okay, it'll take me 30
All
minutes
that
to fix
information's
it.
on YouTube.
Oh,
That's where I'm
absolutely.
at.
Yeah,
It's easy.
that's awesome.
It takes
You've
that
got
extra
your little
step.
kit and everything. But
Yeah.
I just got to that point recently. I'm
yeah.
like, I'm gonna learn how to take these apart.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna be a controller mechanic. So you can send me your controllers and you drip them out.
Dude, I've opened up
Get
so
you a
many
dripped
elite
out
controllers.
mic controller. But yeah, you were talking about controllers. You had an interesting theory. What was yours on the Elites? It was something you were talking about the Elite
So-
controller.
Xbox Elite. Full listener.
When the Elite Series, the Elite has always had the exact same problem. The Elite Series 1 had the problem. The Elite Series 2 has always had this problem, where the bumpers prematurely fail. So there's a little actuator inside of the controller that has a little button on it. Every time you press that bumper, presses down that button.
Mm-hmm.
Over time, there's this little plastic piece that goes over that button that just doesn't click that button. Instead of fixing that problem, which is what they should have done, Microsoft drops a version of the controller that doesn't come with any of the attachments, doesn't come with any of the thumbsticks. It's just a core, just a straight controller with the ability to put on the attachments from the other controller, if that makes sense.
That's what my blue
I see.
controller
Yeah,
is.
it's the exact
it's
same
that
controller,
core
just without
one.
the
I
attachments.
bought what he's talking
costs
about. That's what that is.
This one?
The blue one? Not that one. That's the PlayStation. Should be that one.
Yep.
Or this one?
That one right there. Yeah.
So I had all these parts from my other Elite controllers, and I had so many extra parts. I just put them on there.
The controller without everything on it, like without those things, paddles on the back, without the core,
Yeah.
without everything, just the controller.
Yeah, it came with. It didn't come with the paddles and all that stuff. I just have
costs
so
$100.
many. Yeah.
So my theory is Microsoft released this controller
Well, that comes off. It's all magnetic.
because they didn't want to fix
All
the
magnetic.
problem, but they know that all the hardcore gamers like me and my uncle will buy this core controller because they're too lazy to fix it on their own, or send it into Microsoft to get it repaired.
Yeah, or like I've opened up in mine, and that gets to a point to where it was an easily fixable. I have to like do it wouldn't. There's no like permanent fix
have to, like,
outside of
solder.
spending more than to be worth.
Or
at
you
that
just
point.
open up the controller too many times and it just doesn't want to go back together. The grips start falling off and shit like that.
So yeah, there's
Trust me, when that Elite Series 2, when you take it right out the box and it's fresh, it's one of the best controller. It's the best controller on the market, in my opinion.
And the customization that you can do with the triggers and
6 months and it's one of the
everything.
worst.
There's an app where you can go in there and control the trigger pulls and like the way the thumbstick
You can assign the
sensitivity.
button, you can assign the
You
paddles
can
for
different curves like sensitivity curves like to where with this, it's
Why,
ridiculous.
why don't they make a controller that's like a Tommy or like an AK, like one that's actually metal? You know, like a metal. You know what I mean by an AK? Something that's like that that's almost indestructible.
Yeah,
so with like carbon fiber buttons.
Yeah,
or
carbon
some
fiber.
Shit.
Right,
like,
the cost.
Money.
The
cost.
The
Well,
consumer
that's what I'm saying. Like doing,
except for the high end,
but doing it out of like a billet aluminum or something like that, and carbon fiber buttons. Like
That's going to be a $400 controller.
Shit.
And so there would be a market for it, but would there be enough of a market for them to stay in shape all the time? It goes
If they
to make
did
it.
it,
Probably
would be
not.
like a limited run.
I think we've reached. I think we had already hit the pinnacle of controllers, and we there was the point where our
I'm not
controllers
gonna lie.
are doing
I think
this.
Sony. I think this is the pinnacle.
No, hold on.
PlayStation's.
I don't think so.
With the gyro, there's got a built-in gyroscope that I didn't use much, but with Helldivers, like toward just tilting it, like I can be aiming like first-person shooter and just have it built into tilt, to where I can fine-tune adjust the crosshair just by motions like that. It's pretty next level. That and plus the touch thing. I'm just saying. They've nailed it.
I think
yeah.
the,
Outside of that,
the most superior controller to have graced any game console was the Mad Cat controller with the AC.
Oh my god!
Fans
yes.
in the controller,
Huh.
with the fans in the controller. That
was
thing was a
pinnacle.
tank. It never broke, and it kept my hands
Is
cold.
that for the original Xbox?
Yeah.
That's what
That
I
was
thought.
for the original X-House. They had the Mad Cat. But no, Matt's right. As far as technology overall goes, you can't beat the PlayStation.
Yeah,
It's got
the
gyroscope
PS5
and all of
controllers.
that.
Yeah,
It is. And
I feel like it just. I mean, if you hold it, it might look different than
Yes.
Xbox, but it really like has the same
It-
feel in your hands.
it really does.
From a
It really
casual
does.
perspective, PlayStation is perfect. From a competitive standpoint, I think Xbox has it.
Yes. I mean, the community too, like the community on Xbox. It's closer connected to PC and everything, and just the games. There's that Xbox.
Takes
They
things a little
built
bit
an
more
online community way going back, and
Yeah,
Sony tried to catch up with that.
Halo,
Yeah,
originally
exactly.
with Halo.
So that built like the base.
Yeah, that
that's
was-
carried on to where they
Yeah.
are now. Sony's gonna have whatever, but they're never gonna compete with that.
No, and then it all started with Halo. I
Yeah,
remember
it all
those
started with Halo
original-
2.
I remember playing in my
Halo
my
2
first
online.
my first friend to have Xbox Live and to have had the Halo game was Crane. He always had, I'll never forget. There would be times where he had issues with the internet, and he'd have to go reset his modem, like unplug his Ethernet or something,
Yeah.
plug it back in. Like it was
Reminds me
so
of the
ridiculous. Like the original days
Oh,
of
yeah.
Xbox Online.
We're going
and,
back to like yeah, that was Halo 2, but yeah, on
Yeah.
the first Xbox.
Yes.
It was when it became online multiplayer.
Yes, when you were playing
I
online.
mean, I
multiplayer.
remember the apartment I lived in, and I remember like I'm over. Yeah, dude, your brother.
Oh, Halo
was
and
over
Halo
outside there.
2 LAN parties and stuff. Like I don't
Yeah,
know if there was
I'm just
any.
eating online. Yeah, I did LAN parties before Halo 2. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not gonna lie though, I've strayed away from the console aspect.
you're just all PC
I'm
now.
all
Like you and your
PC.
brother are both that way.
I'm not gonna
right?
lie. Like I don't. I
play
don't
Xbox
play
casually
on
now.
my consoles hardly anymore.
Yeah, I play Xbox casually. For like my UFC or like my golf games or my soccer games. If I want to play like a manager sim, I'll go back to the console. But for my shooters, I've migrated pretty hard to PC. One,
Yeah,
because
it's
better
hard
frames,
to get
better
away from the
frames,
accuracy.
The ease of being able to talk to people, on Discord and whatnot. Discord is unmatched. The game selection is massive. I don't have to worry about, is it a PlayStation exclusive? Is it an Xbox exclusive? I just go on CD keys and buy a super cheap version of the game and download and call it a day. The fact that I can upgrade my parts, interchangeable. Oh, I need a better graphics card. All right, bet I can just go get a new better graphics card instead of spending, getting a brand new console.
But they got pretty good with the
game one comes
consoles.
out on
Last
new
long. Consoles last many years now.
They do, but
People
the
complain, but-
ability to interchange parts with PC, I think, just
Yeah,
makes it a little
this
bit
is
better.
a different style of
Yeah,
individual.
100%,
But I get
100%.
because look at me. I mean, I'm like all of them. But when
Mm-hmm.
it comes down to gaming, if you've actually made the adjustment to mouse and keyboard and you have a setup
Yeah.
to be comfortable there, it's
It's
hard to
the
get
better.
away from the level of accuracy you can have once you're
Mhm.
comfortable with it.
Oh, believe me, every
It's
time I
hard.
get killed in the game, the only reason I'm killed is because of mouse and keyboard people.
And it's not even like PvP, just like any style of game,
Yeah.
just like having that fine-tuned level of consistent accuracy is
There are certain
difficult.
games that play better on console, like your
Oh, yeah.
RPG games. Those play way better
Oh,
on
yeah.
console than they do PC. Like your God of
Fighting
War
games, fighting games
Fighting
too.
games too play a lot better on controller. You can't even play a fighting
Yeah,
game. with
action
mouse and
adventure
keyboard.
like God of War. Yeah, like there's, yeah. So I love them both, but it's like
Each one has their own time and place for sure, for different titles and different aspects.
What's
of the
your favorite game to that you play all the time? That you spend the most time
Oh,
playing?
Destiny 2, hands down.
Destiny 2.
I mean, I've deleted probably 9 characters, and each of them had almost 1,500 hours each, almost. Some of them have a little bit less than that. Some of them have more than that. But I mean, you can ask him. That was my game. When he introduced me to Destiny 1, I grabbed it and I took off. I didn't play another game for 4 years.
Just play Destiny 1.
Destiny 1 and
Dude,
Destiny
that's
2.
all I played for like.
I mean, I play Siege occasionally, with my buddies, but Destiny 2 was really my game. I played that
Yeah,
all
I hardly
day.
played any
every
other
day. During
game other
COVID,
than Destiny
that was the
2.
only game I played during COVID. I played
I don't doubt
Destiny
it.
Crucible.
I mean, look at
all
the
day,
shirt
every
I'm
day.
wearing. Look at
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
shit. Like,
I play
and
a lot
having a
of-
kid is the only thing that like is forced me to, yeah, just like be okay with not playing.
Not playing it. Yeah,
It's
'cause
the only thing that would get me to like
not play the
step
game
away and be
anymore, yeah.
comfortable not doing it.
Uh-huh.
Is having a child.
That's part
No,
of the
I
reason why I
can
haven't
imagine.
gotten a girlfriend anytime soon is because I just hang out with my cat and play video games. I'm
Hey, it's
completely
Dude, it's
content with that.
it's hard, man. And no, it's great because I was where you're at all the way up until my late 30s.
And what I'll say
it
is
was great.
enjoy it. Enjoy that
Yes.
time. Enjoy the time of just playing games and don't.
And I love my life now.
Just have
It's
your,
just like
play games, have your fun, do your thing, and enjoy it because there's going to come a day where you
Yeah.
probably won't have time for it. You probably, have other shit that it's not, and it might not even be just because you don't have time for it because, you have other things that you have to do. It's like you might be doing things you like doing and you just don't have time to do it because
that's the weird thing. That's kind of where I'm at now. Because even
Yeah.
when I'll be by myself, like my version of fun now is like being as creative and making shit that matters to nobody but me and Mikey.
Yeah.
Or it's literally just making something that doesn't even matter to him. It's
Yeah.
like I spend 2 hours making a 30-second video just because I like doing it.
In the process of
It's because it's the closest thing to creating art in the realm that everyone lives in now.
Yeah.
That it doesn't matter if it's people like it or not. It's just I have more fun doing that than I try and play a game. I've just had the hardest time getting into games now. It sucks because I love games. So it's like it really takes now like being like if we're to sit down together in a room and play a game, that's doing it by myself. At least right now in my place in life is more difficult than it's ever been.
I can imagine.
You got a lot of priorities.
Yeah, but even then, when I have downtime, I'll sit there, and it's hard to just get in there and enjoy it. It's weird. It's a weird thing, man. But hey, if I'm almost 40 and having a kid, I guess that's part of it.
Yeah, that is.
I take it all at face value.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know that there's different moods and different scenarios and different environments.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just take all these factors. So it's like I'm very aware, but even aware of all that, I would just acknowledge, okay, if I'm not enjoying this right now, I'm not going to overthink it. What am I enjoying right now?
Yeah.
I'm enjoying sitting here watching this, which is great. I love watching stuff.
Mhm.
I'm enjoying watching that and practicing guitar. Okay, that's what I like doing right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it helps either, though, that the quality of games has drastically declined over the past couple of years. That is definitely
Okay, that's an interesting point.
What do you mean?
I don't
Okay, so
agree
you
with
take
it,
your
but I'm curious.
mainstream games. What do you think of Call of Duty? You think of your
You're
Battlefield-
coming from a PvP perspective,
I'm coming
though, my
at it from
man.
a gaming, from a multiplayer
Yeah, but what's
perspective.
no multiplayer? But what's
I mean,
you don't play
okay, so we had
solo campaign.
Wukong was one of the last, was a good game that's come out recently. What,
Yeah, but I'm
name
just
a game
saying,
before that.
I'm
Name
just
a game
saying you
before
have a
that.
hard PvP bias.
No, but name
that
a game
you
before
haven't
that.
tried a bunch of other games.
Name a game before that.
Let me just open up my stuff here to even.
I mean, I play, for instance, the one game I'm hooked on and I'll always be playing is MLB The Show. I love baseball, so I play the shit out of that game.
It's the same thing every year, every out. There's no
It
variety.
is.
You
It
take
pretty
your
much.
Madden
Well, the one
games.
thing that there is a little bit of difference when they add a different card that has he has a cooler picture, so the picture changes and it gets cooler and makes me feel better.
I mean, it's,
but
it just depends on the style of game you like, honestly. Like, and I feel like you're talking about PvP competitive games. You're not a solo player. You don't do many solo grind. I mean, you've done solo grinding, but MMOs are like regurgitation all the time.
No, but you think about-
It's fun about the people you play with.
The mainstream games are coming out. You take 2K. You take Madden.
No, forget sports games. The one's like, what's a solo game you played? Like, did you even play the most recent God of Wars? Have you played all the God of
I don't have
Wars?
the opportunity on PlayStation. I know they're
Okay.
no, I know
There
they're
you go.
fantastic. But when was the last?
You're missing out, though.
When did Ragnarok come out?
Well, maybe 2 years ago, was it?
Can we name another great single-player game that has come out since?
I have to
then?
look. I mean, I have to look
I mean,
them up.
Obviously, Wukong. That looks like a fantastic game.
I mean, I
actually
just
want
have to
play
look
that.
them up. I know they're there, but you're just not that you're not a gamer that plays that. You don't play PlayStation. Like you're a competitive gamer.
I
so
actually want to play PlayStation. I don't have the money to buy
you
a
should.
console. I don't have the money to buy.
I mean,
a
I've
console.
got, I've probably got like 2 or 3 PS4s.
Yeah.
like
PlayStations are awesome.
Like to where like I
PlayStation-
get. I mean, I don't know. I know something's going on. I don't know.
Let me rephrase my statement. The amount of quality single player games, the amount has diminished. The only thing you're seeing produced nowadays are mass-produced sports games.
Well, exactly, because they make money and they have subscriptions. They get regular revenue. But honestly, the big single-player game, I'm happy if they only have 1 or 2 a year because I don't. That's another thing is like so many games come out. I'm like I don't know what to play. Give me one amazing game a year. That's like perfect.
I would say. I would say they would like.
Once you get, that's the thing. Like once you get older, it's different. But that's like a different individual.
I would like a new. I think like in line with what he's saying in a sense on a single player game. I would very much like a new badass redo of a Hitman game, like a new Hitman.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Like that'd be. I know they did one not too long ago. They had a Hitman game that came out. But I don't know. I feel like there's still room to make.
I mean, do you get on game sites much? Do you read like reviews of games that come out every week?
Not every week. No. What I'll do is I'll go through the game store, look at new games that have come up. I'm not hating. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I think personally, I was just commenting on a specific game.
It's almost like movies. People say like, "Man, there ain't no good movies anymore." Why watch movies? I tell you tons of great movies that you've never heard of. Games are the same way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so they're there. You have to look.
Companies aren't helping either, though. The gaming.
But yeah, you have to look.
Big ones at least. Like,
it might take like indie development. It might take like some of these games that aren't like big, made by big, large studios, but they're still really good. Actually, they do compelling, interesting art. You might realize maybe you're like, those are games that are very enjoyable too.
I have a game you might like. You ever heard of Squirrel Hunt?
Have I heard of a Squirrel Hunt?
No, it's called Squirrel Hunt, I believe. Squirrel Hunt. Look it up on Steam if you want to. It's like a 45, 50-minute game.
Okay.
It's called Squirrel Hunt. I'll find it.
Squirrel Hunt game.
Yeah, I want to get a Switch. I need to
Switch
get me a
is
Nintendo Switch.
again. The Nintendo's great. Like,
I want to get it.
They're fun because I love the Mario games.
I think it's great because something like a Nintendo Switch to me is something that always has its relevance.
This game.
What do you mean?
Is freaking awesome.
What do you mean?
It's fantastic.
I bet it's fun, but you see they're not doing like any unique thing.
But it doesn't. It's not about it being unique.
No, that's fine.
Like what this game does is it's literally you're spawning in a cabin as a husband, and your wife is literally like dead on the cabin wall, and your job is to kill squirrels and staple them to her body.
Hold on a second. Hello, everybody. My name is Mark.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's all these indie games, kind of like those ones that
types
Caleb
of
was
games
playing.
are the ones that I like.
Like what the Caleb was playing with his buddy, like where like you're basically creating a video when you're doing it and you're reacting. You don't know what's gonna happen and shit.
But I think those are the type of
It's
games
cool.
we need. We need those small indie developers to create small games like these.
No, I agree.
But they never get the mainstream media attention that they need to get.
Well, I know, but they can't exist in a mainstream world.
I think they can.
I don't think they can.
How?
Not a game like that.
How?
Because it's just not appealing enough. But there's enough of a community that'll get around it and the level that it can be absorbed, and y'all can
Yeah, I
love
was
it.
gonna say, yeah, exactly. Like,
But it's not something that's gonna be accessible. But you don't want that because once they
you
make
don't
it
want
a
it,
big
yeah.
thing, they're gonna bastardize it. It's gonna be a less true version of that right there.
Yeah, exactly. In a sense, like it is one of those things where I feel you have been on that. I've been on that side where it's like you want this to be more or less what they're leaning into and producing.
And I just know that because I'm so old that I've just seen the way the world works.
No, yeah, and I was gonna say what it's like. You have that genre or that game that you see, and you're like, I wish that the industry would lean into this and make, be producing stuff like this.
Lean
Or
into it, but a lot of gaming developers make a game for face value. Like
Yeah,
these types of games, they have hidden messages.
Mhm.
The music, the subliminal space, the atmosphere.
It's art. It's art. It's like
an
art.
Yeah.
That these games that are coming out nowadays, I think completely miss it.
well, they miss it because it's like reinventing the wheel. Why do it whenever you see that Call of Duty has been selling, or like MLB The Show you said, or Madden, they see that they've been selling the same game for how many years? They've been selling the same exact game.
It's a sports game. I just feel like you know what the sports games are.
It's a cash
No, I know, but
that's what you're paying for. Like you just want to play people.
No, but I'm saying even Call of Duty. Call of Duty is almost.
I gave up
they've
on
been
that one.
playing the same. It's like they've almost been regurgitating the same type
But
of
you
shit.
literally have to look at that
every
as a
year.
sports
But
game.
my point is to say again, like what. My point being is that it's like the reason they're not doing this is because they see what sells. They see that Call of Duty has been pretty much putting out the same game but a different setting and different camo and different little guns and skins and like, oh, well, instead of being in Paris and fighting terrorists here, we're going to fight them in the sand.
But that's
and
there's no better I don't play it much, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying like on the side of it, like what the players want, they just want to play to like a PvP
Yes.
experience.
I'm
So-
not disagreeing. I'm saying
It's just
that's
this-
why
you have
you're
to think
seeing
of Call
what
of
you're
Duty as
seeing
a
is
sports
because that's
game.
what the market is dictating.
It's
That's
a
what
cash
people.
grab, that's why.
Yeah, but you have to think of a sports game. They're trying to make it like the best version. They might tweak mechanics and all these interesting things, but like the world and story
But
don't
you have
matter.
to think, while it is a cash grab, at the same time, it's not just a cash grab because it's like you're producing the game to make money, and it's a risk to produce a game like this and try and market it to the mainstream versus making a game that's similar to other shit that's out there. Is my point. That's why you're seeing the same cadence of games, or it doesn't.
That's why I'm
seem.
saying the quality of games have gone down. It's
Yes.
because it's the same thing.
It's the
well,
same
because
argument
they
for
don't-
movies.
yeah.
And it's the same business. It's the same mindset,
Mhm.
for movies.
If you
It's
wanna
the
just
same
say, I can
thing.
give you a
For
good game.
books.
Every
books.
form of entertainment.
Cars.
Every form of art and entertainment, it's the same thing.
No, it is. It's cars as
It's
well.
just seeing
it's
that
the same
applied
thing.
to the world of
Why do you
games.
think all the cars look the fucking same? Every car manufacturer, the Toyota Tundras started to be badass, and everybody noticed that the Tundras were running great, and everybody wanted them, and they're durable trucks. They were better than Chevys and all these other trucks and shit, as far as transmissions and stuff like that went. And then what'd you see, like the next year or two, Chevy and them start producing trucks that have tail lights and tailgates that look like the fucking Tundra.
that's
And
learning-
the front end of them
that's
look like
the
the
way the
Tundra.
world works
And so
for
it's-
anything.
Yeah. And so it's
It's
like
just
they start
interesting.
saying, oh, hey, they do this. Because I feel the same way. I'm a car guy. I'm like, why wouldn't you make the old Chevelle? Or why wouldn't you make...
There's a very specific reason for that, though. So a lot of those older vehicles, if they try to produce them now, they're not going to be the same because there's different safety standards.
I know...
Yes.
Different crash ratings.
Yeah.
Those Chevelles, you crash that, they're crumbling like paper.
But I don't think you have to make them as fucking fat as they make them. I don't believe that. You don't have to
But at
do
the same
that.
time, you
You
can't.
can still make it just... You can box those frames out. Because look at the smart car. The smart car is allegedly one of the safest cars you can own. Or at some point it was like it's some steel box where you can't smash it, and that thing's the size of a pack of gum. But why is it that the Charger, the Challenger, they all look like overweight? They're just disgusting. They're big fat.
That's what the market dictates.
I know.
Well,
That's
Chargers
what market and
are-
consumer taste
But that's what I'm
Dodge
saying.
is an abnormality when it comes to that because Dodge likes to make their vehicles super heavy for no apparent reason. You look
Yeah,
at,
but
you
look at the
a Dodge-
Mustang. The Mustang. Look at the Mustang versus the old ones. The old ones look like they were slim. Look at the distance between the back bumper on the old Mustang, the back bumper in the ground on the old Mustang versus the back bumper in the ground on the new ones. You have like a distance of like a handful of inches, whereas it's like the old one you had like 1.5 feet of distance. So it's like the car was much sharper at the back end. The car was much sharper at the front end. And now everything is just like in Sin City, what Marv said. It's like they're all electric shavers, and it's just like these big... But that's what you're left with, and that's
That's
because
like I said,
somebody
market
made one of
dictates
those,
and what
somebody made one of those big boxy cars, and then it sold well, and then it's like, well,
And that's where like being a disruptor or introducing something that's unique, but the culture grabs onto.
yeah.
But
blame the
that's
Mustang.
taking a risk.
I
And
blame
companies
I
won't
blame
take
the
risks.
Mustang, I think.
And that's where it takes like small startups or small unique companies to introduce something new and the market gets onto, but it's so rare and it's so
Yeah.
costly, and then they get bought out.
I'm
and
not
that's the
going to
thing.
argue the reliability and dependability and mechanics of them all, but as far as I think that Mustang started the whole the big fat car thing because the way the back ends on those Mustangs went in the early 2000s, how they blew them up, because then you had the old school like 96s, you had like the Salines and stuff like that. That were, you know what I'm talking about, that had the real long sideways front headlights. And the stripes on the yes, and then it was like those were more sleek, and they almost had like a Viper type look to them as well.
And then
But
05,
then
you got the fucking rectangular
yes,
taillights,
the big fat fucking
fat ass,
exactly.
yeah.
And then
The
that's
thing is, you're
whenever-
passionate about these, so
that's whenever I think that's what that started, and then they sold those well because they sold the shit out of those Mustangs. That year started selling, And then it was like not long after, that's when it was either like Camaro came back out with, or Chevy came back out with the Camaro, and they pretty much, it was like mimicked it in a sense of being big, fat, bulky, and then the Charger, and it's like,
Well, people nowadays
there you
don't
go.
care about
This is a story behind everything, though. I know.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because there's a team of designers and a team of whatever. To where even if it's the end product is something that didn't make sense.
Yeah,
there's a story that gets to it. To it, I'd be curious to know.
I'm
exactly.
just voicing my
You're
position.
the,
I don't think the world should operate the way I think.
No,
it
it shouldn't. But it just makes me
I just see
interested to know.
for me, it's really mind blowing and curious because I feel like if you take a '67 Camaro, or let's say that's a bad comparison because. Well, no, shit. Say it. Say take a '67 Camaro and put it next to a new Camaro, and tell me, you poll people, tell me how many people. I can almost guarantee you the majority of the people are going to be like, I like the old one.
Well, people aren't concerned about looks anymore. They're concerned about horsepower.
But I mean, you can still. That's my point, though, is you can still jam pack all that shit, that same horse, in something that looks better.
No, I got that.
That's my only point.
Yeah.
Those older vehicles, compare them to now. Every single one of these engineers and designers are looking at, okay, how cheaply can we make this and maximize profit? People nowadays, at least like as a car enthusiast, I've seen this, and I've actually had arguments with this on Instagram, unfortunately. They don't care about how the car looks.
No.
They care about how much horsepower you have. That's why you look at the Hellcats. That's why you look at the Demons. They're making 700 horsepower, 800 horsepower. You look at the GT500 that came out, 800 horsepower. You look at some of the new Vipers, they're making 800 horsepower. The new Corvettes, they're making 800 horsepower.
Right now it's like
they're not looking at
they're now in the
they're not
How
looking at the
fast can you
package,
go?
how sexy it is. The
How
art
fast can you
of
make
the
your car go?
presentation isn't is important
take my
anymore.
Honda outside, I'm
Well, and
making a
two,
whopping 90.
it's almost like to say what you were to make the point of like the inside, like the behind the scenes stuff. I think one of the things is it's between, and it's probably a tale as old as time, but because I've heard of stuff from back in the day with car manufacturers, with getting together with like the engineers and the designers and all.
Yeah,
that.
the people that don't have a limit to what they think could be, and the people
And then
like
the
this thing.
engineers.
This is what's possible.
Yeah, and it's like them two getting together, and it's like.
You also need somewhere to put all this new wiring they're putting in these cars. Let's not forget that. There's a lot more electronics that go into these cars than, let's say, a '67 Camaro. So you also need.
But
to
how
put
much?
that stuff
How
infinitely
much of
more,
it?
Infinitely more.
No. But I was gonna say how much of it? How much of that horse shit is necessary?
That's what I'd say. Depending on the
For
user.
the common consumer, a lot.
Depending on the user. For a kid, for a person growing up, they want all the electronics. They want that. That's important to them. But for you, like, you love the car and just the power of being on the road and just
It's
like.
not even. It's just I guess yeah. It's I love that aspect of it, but to me, it's like I just don't see how much of that shit is useful for cars, because I just see it as getting to the point where so many cars, they get over engineered. You put so much horse shit on them,
100%. But there are people that won't buy a car because it doesn't have CarPlay.
yeah. I don't. Yeah,
And
I
that's
get
the, like,
that.
the average.
Yeah,
the average
no
person, a car to them is it gets me where I'm going. About I want it to get me where I'm going. I want it to be like a smartphone. I want it to have as comfortable, accessible, which is as it should be.
Yeah.
Is as it should be. You're like a purist, and it's cool though. It's just cool, like.
Because I'm in the same boat as you. Why do you think I got my '98 Honda?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is this
and
cool?
I mean that's why there's so many junkyards though. And my point, look, people fucking Range Rovers and shit sitting around because they're full of electronic bullshit and Jaguars. They end up being just like
a pain in the ass to work on. Nobody wants them anymore.
Yeah, and then they just get dumped in fucking whatevers, and it's which brings me to my next point. The pinnacle of all automobiles was the Buick 3800.
All right,
that was the engine.
That is a very base take right there.
That is the pinnacle.
But that's speaking to what you want. Like it's what you need to be a car.
That is the pinnacle of all cars. Is the Buick 3800. That engine setup. They put it in like the LeSabre.
And this is the same
Regal,
thing for like an old person being like, "What? I just want a phone. I just want a cell phone. Why does it have all this complicated stuff? I just want a phone, something to call somebody." It's the same thing.
But at the end of the day,
it's the same thing.
If you look up,
which is fine. I'm just letting you know. It's the same thing.
It's funny thing about the Buick 3800 engine and all that is it's one of those engines where like the engineers fucked up and they made an engine that will just run and anybody can almost work on it. It's super easy to work on.
It's something they made that's too efficient.
Yes. Because you don't need to get a new car.
It's funny whenever they do. Yeah.
So a lot of those
Buicks,
if you see those LeSabres, those old like mid like 90s to like mid 2000s LeSabres, they have those 3800 engines.
Yeah, they want to market something
like,
that lasts forever, but they don't want to actually make something that lasts forever.
And
they accidentally do.
They fucked up.
They don't make it much longer.
I'm pretty sure the early Impalas also had the 3800 in them too.
They might have,
because I'm pretty sure I've seen a couple Impalas at my job that's had them.
That sounds the 96 or like the 90 something or the Caprices.
Even I've seen them as new as 06.
Okay, that makes sense. That would make sense. 3800 engine. But either way, that was a fantastic little. Just for people that are wondering, okay, what would be a good? But
that's good. That's good stuff.
Car talk.
But I'm just saying, like it's the mindset and the back and forth is applicable to just
everything.
Advancement and progression across all formats. Whether
Absolutely.
it's car, like I say, it's like a phone. It could be like a TV. I used to turn on TV and I could just watch something. Now it's like all these options.
A gun.
It's just a gun. Everything.
Yeah.
The
it's
way
just
humanity is transgressing right now is to make it to where we have to do as little as possible.
well. That's it's always been doing that.
Exactly.
It's
So
just
that's
now
why-
we're
that's
at
why
this.
we've come to this
yeah.
point. You look
But
at
I
Tesla
think
self-driving cars.
though my point my gripe with most of that is getting to the point where you said, what was it? We're trying to get to where you do as little as possible. But I see that on the path to getting to that point to doing as little as possible, so much of this shit that they're making is like, it's complicating shit more or less. Because then you're going to get people get invested in some of these cars, or they buy a car, and it's like, you get kind of fucked whenever it's like, oh, hey, because like there was some Jeep or some shit where it's like you have to pull the body off to
Oh no,
like a
we're
basic
setting
maintenance.
ourselves up for disaster.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's
We're setting
like,
ourselves up for no. The less that we care, and it comes like I'm speaking big picture, like people, and especially with AI, are people don't even know how to code hard anymore. Like we have like Copilot and software, like coders and engineers are like being aided by a program to help them write code. That's just like an example. So all this knowledge is gonna die, right? Because we're just trusting things we've created to do them, and it just takes some crazy outlier event, or at some point outlier events happen, whether it's like some disaster, some like electronic failure, or like some asteroid or some cyber attack that shuts down all these electronics or things that we rely on, and we've created things that we can't even fix ourselves, and there's no knowledge toward be like, oh, we're trying to get things with gas thing. We're trying to function in ways or learn how to even function in ways that aren't dependent on all these things you created that we don't even understand.
Yeah, because most coders use other people's coding.
That like I'm saying, even Copilot. Yeah, and that's just how it is, and that's great for creating better and more refined things. But we're losing the knowledge or ability to even actually understand or re-engineer, or if everything went to shit, like we couldn't. How would they make a car? It'd be like we go into the people who created cars. So it's like a balance of maintaining all that important knowledge and ability, but people give all that up for the convenience, which makes sense. But people have to be smart and recognize how to try and. You see them now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And to me, it's just all the disposability of things, because it's also on one hand, like we more or less we're taught not to be wasteful, right? Don't be wasteful. Be mindful, like try, of all this stuff. But then at the end of the day, almost all of the products and stuff we're being made are incredibly cheap. They're meant to just like break. It's nothing. Nothing is quality. And so it's like, you're sitting there. Why would
it's like a hypocritical position.
Our society should be, one where it's like people are changing the oil on their car and driving their car longer to try and keep it to where it's like, you don't need to go out and grab a new car and then, this one fills up the junkyard or something.
Exactly.
Like, it's like, why is it, all these problems, like you said, we're doing it to ourselves, and everything destroys itself.
BMW
like
is a prime
everything.
example of that.
BMW.
So there's a wonderful thing that I've come to learn about car brands. Toyota and Honda build their engines and their vehicles for the people that aren't going to maintain their vehicles. They build it with the expectation that you're not going to follow their maintenance guide. That's why they're so indestructible, But BMW builds their motors in a way where if you don't do your intervals every 5,000, you have to do your maintenance on the mileage.
That's a good point. Like if you don't get your oil change right on the dot, it'll start to destroy the vehicle.
They build it with the expectations that you're going to follow the maintenance guide that they set.
Yeah.
Which is funny. That just shows
BMWs have such a bad reputation for being unreliable.
Because the bad owners.
The people that own them, the 19,
can't afford
20-year-olds buy them and own them. They don't know how to maintain them.
You can't afford them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They want to buy something and not think about maintenance.
You look at my Honda was overheating for 6 months straight.
Dude,
and I couldn't.
I'm always
figure it
glove
out.
Hondas.
I fixed overheating issue. I haven't had an issue since.
I love Hondas, and that's like my old. I have a Dodge pickup truck, and it has a slant 6 in it, and that thing was running. That thing was running on like, not like 5 1/4 of a cylinder, like not even running on 6 cylinders.
Chugging along.
Just fine. Goes down the highway like it'll go down the highway like 70 miles per hour, 75. Like you can go push right along, and it's not even running on all its cylinders. Like I mean,
that's great engineering, whatever it's doing.
Absolutely, and so there's something to be said for that. So I just think that it's like I would really love to see something, whatever, in any kind of. I just love seeing things when they're built in any realm, whether it's guns, a car, pocket knives, phones, controllers that are just well built, and you're like
It's
you
the beauty
can
of a
tell,
Glock.
but it's done at an affordable price. That's something that almost everybody can easily attain with a little stowing away a little bit of cash. You can go get whatever that thing might be, but it's like, hey, when I buy this, my investment's good.
That's what IKEA is.
Yeah.
Like if you look at a timing chain setup for an Audi,
Mm-hmm.
and compare it to a timing chain setup of an LS. An
Mhm.
LS literally just has this.
Just a
one
single
little
loop.
chain
Yeah.
that works with the cam and calls it a day.
Mhm.
Audi's timing chain setup, it's like 9 different
Like the
chains
Fibonacci
that go back
sequence?
and
It's
forth.
over-engineered.
Like it's awful. Because for you to maintenance that, it's gonna cost you $3-4 grand.
Yeah.
But if you do a timing chain on an LS, you could do it in 2 hours in your driveway with a couple
so,
buddies and a
but
six-pack.
why do they do that?
Exactly. What's the reason? What's the engine? Like the
Is there
engineers
is
probably
there
have
any
a
advantage
reason
to why that is.
That's German engineering for you.
Is there any advantage to it?
There has to be, but
Yes
it
and
must
no.
not be
because I know that
it must not be
Audi.
worth
I know
it.
that Audi engine will get fucking gapped by that LS all day.
So yes and no. The reason why the LSs have it so easy is because they have their cam inside the block.
Yes.
So that's what the timing chain is responsible for, is making sure that cam shaft operates at the correct timing to operate with the pistons,
Valves.
make sure everything opens and closes
Yeah.
at the right time. Audi has a lot more that goes into their motor setups than LSs do. LSs don't have like VVTi.
But what benefit is
LSs
they
don't
have? They have to have some
variable
benefit
cam
that they're
timing or anything
achieving.
Like that. LS, you set it, you call it a day.
Yeah, there has to be a
Audi, your stuff
reason that
adjusts
they're
on the
engineered
fly.
for that, though.
You're-
Like, I
you're-
wonder what that
it-
is, though.
The valves open up and close at different time. The car will pull timing if you need it to for certain amounts of power. So there are benefits to it.
Yeah.
I don't
But
think
are they
need
worth
to
it,
engineer
though?
it that hard because
But
you're
that-
paying $4 or $5 grand every time.
Yeah,
you
but
do
if we
that.
can identify what the reason is for that.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I don't know.
But because my
There has
thing
to be,
is,
like you're saying, there has to
there
be.
might
Yeah,
be a
Audi's technology.
reason, but at the end of the day, they failed because
They're
the
who-
LS is probably one of the greatest engines in a sense ever made.
the
But
fact
they
that you
didn't
can go
fail
pull a
in the
chunk of
fact
LS
that
and call
there's
it a day.
still like a
So
large
nice.
market. I still like Audis. I get
Yeah.
the average consumer. They don't think on that level, and it doesn't matter.
No,
so it
they
almost
don't.
makes it
They
like
don't.
why do they put so much into it
No,
if
they
the average
don't
consumer
think-
doesn't
Because it's
care?
considered a
No,
luxury car.
yeah, for sure.
No, but I'm saying like they could
Yeah, why
cut
are
so
they
much
doing
cost
all
to make
that
that
and-
simpler, and people would pay the same price for it.
Yeah, and then it
They
would
could
make everything-
un-engineer that, make it half the cost, but still charge
Well,
the same
that's what I
price because
was-
that's the Audi tag.
That's what makes an Audi.
I
an
think
Audi,
it's,
is
but
the
I
fact
think
that
that's
it's
what justifies
It is
all of the
over-engineered,
shit. When
yeah.
it justifies all their other shit. That's what justifies them to.
They have to maintain that ridiculous German engineering
That
standard
luxurious
that doesn't make
lifestyle.
sense.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
over-engineered to the point of being impractical.
Yeah, where it's
but
like,
that's
this is horse shit.
Seriously, that'd be like Audi.
Yeah.
And I love Audis. But I'd be like, engineered to the point of being impractical. But
Yeah.
that's what you want.
Dude, every vehicle I love pretty much is like almost every vehicle is just tanks of cars, like the old Volvo S70s
Oh,
or whatever.
beautiful fucking
Love the Volvo S70s, whether they're the fucking wagons. I love the station wagons, or just the
love
four
station
doors,
wagons, dude. Oh,
like,
so beautiful.
or
Dude,
just the 4-door of them.
We had one of those when I was really young. My dad did.
Those things are tanks.
Oh, yeah.
They'll run for all the old Mercedes diesels. I love
Yeah,
those.
the old diesels,
Because then
man.
you could run those on. You want to talk? That's what they should be promoting. You could run those bad boys on like peanut oil.
Oh yeah, German,
Yeah.
There was a
German
guy.
diesels are
There was a
indestructible.
dude. There was a dude that pulled up to Buffalo Wild Wings one time, and this was years ago. And he had one of those old.
I saw him
diesels, those
piss in
old-
the gas tank and he started up.
No, he just opened. He was Hawk 2 in there, but no, the guy like pulls up, and I was sitting on the patio. He comes, sits with his buddies that were out there with us, and he was like, I told him, I was like, hey man, I like your car. I was like, oh thanks, and then he started telling him, talking to us about it, and he was saying that he's run it on vegetable oil and used cooking oil. He was saying, he was like, if I really had to, he's like, I could ask him for like used oil out of the kitchen, and he was like, and I could like pour whatever they gave me in there and it'd drive home. Like,
dude, that's a beast.
And something like, I just love stuff
just
like
feed
that.
it something. I stuck pizza in there once and it started.
I love it. Shit like that I love, because it's like,
me too.
Why isn't this what we're creating with our human ingenuity, where I can pour fucking dirt in my car and it's like, I mean,
because it's like ingenuity, and then there's
ways of,
and then there's profit.
But hang on, I knew another guy. I knew a buddy of mine.
It's because of this, Mikey. It's because of this.
I knew a buddy of mine that worked for Chevy, and he was also he worked in the military. He was an aircraft mechanic. And he was saying, like, I was talking to him about pollution in cars, and this, I'm curious to know your opinion. He was saying that it's like majority of modern cars, almost all of them, he was like, they're hardly polluting at all.
Yeah, they're not.
Because of the O2 sensors and the catalytic converters and the emissions controls on them. It was like, at the end of the day, if the car's set up and running properly and nothing's failed on it, then it's hardly polluting at all. And so I'm
different though.
Diesel potentially.
You got your DPF filters, your EGR.
Yeah, but diesels are such a small percentage of all running vehicles.
Yeah.
I know, but you were talking about bringing back those old Mercedes diesels.
Yeah.
EPA does not allow that anymore. Like, they're trying to crack down on that so hard. The city's starting to do away with diesels. Ford just made a 7.3 non-diesel specifically meant for, like, construction, like, level trucks. Like, those big boy trucks you see.
Yep.
Like, the 6.7 Power Stroke, they're trying to do away with that stuff, and they brought out what's called the Godzilla motor. It's a 7.3 all-gas motor. They're trying to do away with diesel. All the big trucks, the dump trucks and stuff you see, that's all run on CNG. Most of the city vehicles are run on CNG.
That's all CGI?
Nah.
Oh.
No. It might have
really
been
good
great.
CGI right there. CNG is actually great. I think
What is CNG?
Certified natural gas.
Yeah, and I was like, I want to almost be like, bring us to another point, but do you have a story about CNG vehicles?
I do.
I think you should share that real quick.
So, middle of last year, I had a
This is funny.
G35. Threw that thing into a concrete median on the highway.
I saw the picture of that.
He had a few. He's had a few wrecks.
Oh.
Is she a bad girl?
Dude, I was like hearing this noise, and I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Have they not stopped since I left them over there?
Like a trash bag or something, right? It was like really loud, and then I walk in, and she's like trying to get into the dog food. She's like tossing this bag around, trying to break into the bag.
She's a bad girl, Stephanie. I'm telling you, y'all unleashed a little hellion on me. Y'all don't know it, but y'all unleashed a demon onto me.
Have they not been calm since they put them over there?
No, I don't think so. It doesn't look like it.
Potato calmed down, and
she didn't.
Kind of ventured and,
Doesn't look like she's calmed
It's
down.
like, I don't know. No, so what? No, so
your podcast pug.
Yeah, so
pugging around.
Your vehicle. So yeah, you've gotten a few
So,
wrecks.
yeah,
You told vehicles. You ended up needing to get another
I
vehicle.
needed to get another vehicle, and when I was working for the city, I had stripped a couple, the old Hondas, like 99 Honda, back from when the city first got them. Now this was a 99 Honda with less than 100,000 miles on it. So that thing was like, still got a good another 250 in it left to go. I stripped the vehicle myself, and it got sold to somebody. I saw that same vehicle on Facebook Marketplace. Fuck it, let's go look at it. I looked at it, saw the whole top where, the light bar used to be. I was like, yep, I stripped this vehicle. It was a CNG Honda. I was like, fuck it, we're buying it. I bought a CNG Honda. Now,
He bought this car. He bought a car.
it would not have been an issue if I was staying here permanently, because there are CNG stations in Dallas.
So he bought a natural gas car. He's not go. You know where do you get natural gas?
No, there are natural gas stations in Dallas.
No, there are. They exist.
Yeah, but
they're
he's
not
saying where.
They're not
like,
down
they're
the
not-
street.
you don't-
There's one that's 5 minutes from my house.
Not finding them
I'm
all
just
over.
saying, like
He's
They're
saying,
not. They're not.
yeah,
They're
not everywhere.
quick trips.
Yeah.
It's not a quick trip.
No, it's not.
You can't go to a diamond. It's like finding a diamond shamrock.
Yeah.
It's
So
like,
Yeah, so you
I can only get gas at diamond.
Yeah, you bought a
Shamrock.
car and then you realized, wait, I can't really drive this car.
and I realized that as I drove where I was like, fuck.
You're
And
like,
then
I need
and then
to
I
get
looked at New
gas.
Mexico, and then I realized there's not a single CNG station in New Mexico. Fuck.
But he already bought it. He had already bought the car.
I found a guy in Oklahoma. So I posted the thing on Marketplace. And some dude, his name is Omar. He calls, he messaged me, he's like, is this vehicle still available? I'm like, yes, sir, it is.
Yes, please. I mean, no.
He's like,
don't ask
he's like, can I call you?
Like,
and take a
I
look
don't
at
know.
it. And it's like 10 o'clock at night. And I'm like, fuck yeah, call me. And he's like, let me see the vehicle. And I show it all to him and show him everything inside. Everything works inside. The vehicle starts right up. Right the fuck up. No trunk space because the CNG's tank is literally like... like imagine a propane tank, like a big, massive propane tank. Literally what it is.
Okay.
The downside of CNG is...
Is that right there?
It
sounds like he just described it.
It's worse than that. When that
Okay, there's that, and then there's this.
You don't want to get
CNG
rear-ended.
tank expires, you can't register the vehicle until you get a new CNG tank installed.
Oh shit. And I'm sure that's cheap.
That's a couple grand.
That's cheap, huh?
Every single
So
time you
there's
need to replace it.
this guy wanted it.
Yes.
You're like he's like I was a sucker, but this guy's the bigger sucker.
$400 on the car.
That's not bad.
I drove up to Choctaw Casino.
Dude, that was worth the drive.
And the dude showed up with his son, and he was like, "Can I look at it?" We took it for a drive. It drove. It actually
Why?
drove great.
Do you have any idea why he wanted that?
It had great tires on it, great brakes. It was actually a fantastic
So
daily driver.
there's CNG enthusiasts, maybe.
It got like 45 miles to the gallon too. Like
Exactly.
if you
He
were
knew what
near-
he was signing up for. Hope
Yeah,
maybe he doesn't.
Well, Oklahoma has a lot more CNG stations. They're a lot
Okay.
more common than Texas because CNG is
Okay,
very
so there's a
prevalent in
market.
Oklahoma.
Okay.
Sold to him and whatnot. It still was biting me in the ass after I sold it. Because the dude who I bought the car from, his girlfriend was the one who bought it from the auction. And she never transferred the title into her name. So when I sold the car, my name wasn't on the title. So the dude had to go to court.
It wasn't your problem at that point,
It
though.
was because he mailed me the court letters.
Oh my god.
And he was calling me, he's like, your name's on the title. I'm like, bro, literally the only thing the dude had to do was print off a bill of sale and sign the dude's name that was on the title.
The title,
and
yeah.
call it a day.
People being lazy
but he
rather
didn't get
than
that, and he wanted to be Mr. Goody Two Shoes and wanted to go through all the necessary channels. Went to court.
Oh my
Luckily, I haven't
gosh.
heard from that dude since. Thank God. Because that's what I did with my Honda.
So he's got he's got a very close connection to CNG vehicles.
Very close connection.
I just
It was
thought.
a great drive. The interior was great.
I
Less than
know.
100,000
I'm sorry. I
miles,
felt
like-
bad. I just remember when he got it and like hearing like after the fact, he's like, "Wait, I can't really. This isn't a feasible vehicle."
Because I didn't get this Honda until like 2 months after.
But I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad there's a happy ending because you're able to pretty much sell it for the same price, roughly.
Yeah, I
like,
sold it for I think
the
$2,500
tax.
and I bought it for $29.
Yeah,
Sure, I lost $400,
dude,
but I
dude,
got
yeah,
it.
dude. Honestly,
You got the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't buy CNG unless you live in Oklahoma.
I'm saying so. You've learned all that. You've learned a lot. You've learned a lot about CNG. You've learned a lot about just thinking about just when you buy something, the practicality of where it is fits in your life and where you're gonna be.
When I bought it, I wasn't thinking about that. I was just, I've worked on this vehicle.
Yeah.
I want this thing
Exactly.
right
Yeah.
now.
So you've got a lot of good
Clean car,
experience to pull
beautiful
from.
teal blue, stock
You're like,
rims,
oh,
great
yeah.
tires, less
Yeah.
than 100K, everything worked on. I was like, this is a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Dummy. You
Yeah.
big dummy.
Big dummy.
Man, that's funny.
That is funny.
Been there,
Well-
done that, learned my lesson.
Well, should we wreck it up?
I guess we should.
Yeah. So since he never listens, if he probably wreck. So this wrecks of the week. So we just like each like recommend something, anything. And if there's no limit to what that might be. Just like what's the recommendation
To eat?
for anything? Anything.
Well, I mean, if you want some good food in Fort Worth, there's a great place called Mashed.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
So it's all mashed potato based.
It's just MASH.
No, but what's what do they do? What's unique?
You know, like they have like burgers, chicken, like fried chicken.
Huh.
You know, like
I wonder
chicken
why
top-
they're called that.
It's great food. It's fantastic.
Do you know the origin of the name or why they're called
Not
that?
at all. Just me and Mark went there yesterday to get dinner. It was fantastic. It's a great place to go to. A great eatery, great nice local spot. It's right off of 7th Street.
Dang. Well,
So if
cool,
you're in Fort Worth,
mashed.
Give that place a shot.
Well, dang. Good. Oh, yeah.
You go ahead.
Yeah. That made me think. and then before I wreck real quick, so obviously, like, being in Dallas was cool because you kind of got to reconnect with Mark in a way you wouldn't have otherwise, and have built whatever this. I like. You're moving away, but like I get, is that kind of difficult?
He's not taking it well for sure.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't have me for almost 18 years, and he finally got to reconnect for me, and he only had me for another 3.
Yeah.
Feels like he feels like he really wasted his time with me, which. I mean, this time's a lot different than the last time, you know?
Yeah.
I'm actually able to stay in contact with him and call him whenever I want.
Yeah. So it's up to y'all just to kind of maintain it. But it's cool. You built a foundation, and it doesn't moving away doesn't hurt. But it's good that you had this because it built the foundation to where if y'all stay in touch and technology makes it easy to make it personal or not. But yeah, well, I'm just glad to have the reconnection.
But
I'll bring it.
That I didn't expect to happen, and it happened, and I'm very grateful that it's.
I am too. I am too. Just because I know Mark when I knew him, and I loved him.
He's a good man.
And I knew him before you were born, and so I know the good man that he has, and we all have sides to us that aren't good, like me, all of us, right? So I'm just glad you're getting to know him in that way.
Yeah,
but yeah,
sounds cool.
So yeah, my recommendation would be. If you're able to, if you live in a place where you can burn incense, do it all the time.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And do it all the time because you don't know if something might change in your life where you're living somewhere where they don't let you burn it.
I wonder who.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You should burn, but
Stephanie!
There is some. I will say, if you are gonna burn an incense,
Mikey, you know something funny?
That blue one's fantastic.
You bring me all these boxes, and it's so.
Get you in trouble.
I mean, I haven't even opened one. She's literally like the day, maybe after, she's like, "Did you burn incense?" I'm like, "No," and I was realizing I had those boxes there by the fan, and she could smell just from the fan blowing from the boxes.
See, I burn
in the other side of the house.
I burn incense in Papa's house.
I have to find a way, if there's like a food or substance that makes the sense of smell like dumbed down, or like makes it weaker. I need to somehow because her sense of my wife's sense of smell it's hurting her because she smells things, and I'm sure it smells weird, bad, but it's hurting me.
You should burn Nag Champa. You should burn this.
Does she smell when she walks here, or she's still in the house?
No, she'd walk in the house. And I'll be like, no, like if you're not here and you've been gone, I'll burn it while you're not here. And she will still smell it and still make it.
I think that
think about it.
Have a fan outside this door
most
Matthew,
it doesn't matter, Matthew. It doesn't matter.
Dude,
Really?
trust me.
Dude, it doesn't.
Trust me. Dude, if you don't think that I'll make a case, but at the end of the day, it's like I love her, and I'm just like.
I buy the big boxes of it.
I do too. I love the blue one. You got me on the blue one. It's fantastic.
So I buy the.
That's the only one you need.
I buy the big boxes of it, and so like I just brought him 3 of the small ones, and you can honestly like this is how she smelled it was just from the box.
Yes.
So it's like there's no way he's gonna be able to burn it. But I was gonna say the one thing about like the incense is it probably is best if you can.
But honestly,
you're burning it, like.
If I just set these boxes around the house, like it's gonna smell it.
It is gonna smell like it. Yeah.
Get her used to it.
No, that's the best I can get.
But yeah, there are some.
And I've said things here too, which is funny because I'm like, I hope you realize I really love burning incense. It really makes the environment. It really means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And you stole that from me.
It sets the tone.
You
for the
took
room.
that from me. You killed that. Like
killed
John Wick. You killed that from me when he killed
that from
me.
Yeah,
the little puppy.
Yeah. No,
she
that's
did
right.
with incense.
No, she did.
And she's okay with it. You know why? Because it bothers her breathing or something. And I believe it.
Incense sets the tone in the room.
Yeah, I believe it. And I can say it's because she's never gonna listen to this. No one's gonna tell her.
Who's gonna tell her?
Dude, I'm gonna. Yeah, but I'm almost done. I'm sorry, but I do want to like make a video. Obviously, like a video will. There's a lot of things I want to say. Be like, hey, just know that Stephanie, I love you, and you're one of the best decisions in my life and everything we've done. But you did wrong. You killed something.
A little piece of
and I love, and I think out of all the things I've done and bent over, you could have maybe leaned a little bit and eaten it a little bit, but you didn't. And I want you to know that. And she's gonna hate herself, and that's why I'm gonna kill myself tonight, so that she feels
like, I'm
so
bad.
And I'll be laughing.
Like I'm gonna light all my incense and do it.
and we'll burn down my room. No, I'll go to the little shed because that won't hurt the baby. I'll go burn. Yeah, so that's fun.
Oh
that's
my
that's a fun
gosh.
recommendation. All right, Mikey.
No, that is. I will.
I'm burning. Why do you think I'm burning a candle?
Not to flex.
Look
on
at that.
you,
Is
Matt,
that
but
is that an
burn-
instance?
I pretty much burn a stick or two of that every day on the porch.
Thank you. Do it for me.
I sit on the porch. And
Actually,
I
I could do it outside.
That's what I do all the time. I have my little chimenea.
But it's hot
and I
out
sit
there.
on the porch. But it's it's nice in the evenings. It's nice in the evenings, and it's nice.
Yeah,
in the
dude. That's
mornings.
honestly.
So I go out there in the evening and I'll light it up and I'll stick it in the little chimenea and it's a nice little ambiance.
Honestly, getting a little AC installed out there,
absolutely.
and Stephanie just be like, "Why are you out there, Tom? Why? What's the? I don't know.
incense.
I can burn my fucking incense."
He's like, I can live there.
Yeah, no, I've even thought that, yeah, but
I had a recommendation cooked up and I kind of lost it.
let's find it again. Let's dig.
What is she eating? She get a piece of pizza?
What? Is there? Oh, was she up on the box?
Must have been.
Yeah, that box is open, dude. That's easy pickings for her.
Oh yeah, easy pickings.
That's not her fault. That's our fault.
Uncle, it's gonna suck because Mom and them aren't gonna let me burn it in the house. When me and Kale get in an apartment together, oh my gosh, it'll be crazy.
Yeah, it'll be motivation to, you know.
Yeah, she ate a slice.
Well, look at you, living your best life.
She's munching.
Living your best life. All right, Mikey, what you got?
Okay. Yeah. I'm doing the best I can.
Let's unpack. Let's unpack.
Well,
what?
I'm doing the best I can to make sure I'm not just going to repeat an old wreck, but at the same time, say the one that I had kind of cooked up or had in my mind, because it was more or less a meaningful recommendation.
No, yeah, I think it would be.
It had something to do in a sense of being present, but not like, because I've said that before. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's
but
not that. It wasn't. I guess just appreciate it all. Do the best you can to appreciate all of it. Even the nasty things that happen to us and the unfortunate things or the things we don't like or the curveballs that life may throw us. Do the best you can for while all of it sucks, look at it on the level of human experience and appreciate the things that happen in a way and just kind of accept certain things, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, it's like every event, good and bad, is something to learn and grow from that experience. It takes really bad things to happen to actually grow from.
Yeah, and I feel like too, there's been a lot of times in my life with certain instances where like something would happen and I got so in the moment just fixated or whatever on how I perceived that it was wrong or not good or bad, and I didn't zoom out to see the overall just, you know, emotional experience of it all and whatnot, and kind of in understanding the deeper, how it's like, you know.
Yeah, try and battle against it, but it's accepting it happened and just
kind of saying. There was something like, for instance, Ram Dass. He was the guy who used to be a professor. His name was Richard Alpert originally.
Ram Dass?
But he had just said that it's like something where it's like, you know, in this too or also. Because he was talking about tripping, and like he had tripped, and he was talking about when he would go to these bad places in a trip where the trip would turn awful, and he was talking about like one time he took this stuff like STP is what it was called, and he said one time he took it and it lasted for like 2-3 days or some shit, and he said that like it was, you know, awful, whatever, but then he couldn't get it out of his mind, that bad experience of it, and he wanted to understand it, so then he went and he took more STP. He did it again, but he like fasted for a handful.
Dude, we just got to move that box, man.
I don't know. Yeah, she just pulled it down.
Yeah.
I got it. You may continue,
She's a
Mikey.
nut bag.
That's cool. Yeah, you just pick those pieces up. We could give them. I'll give them to the other dogs. But yeah, Ram Dass.
And he had like fasted, went out into the desert, and he pretty much took it. And he was saying that like whenever everything was fine and great, but then he said at one point that trip kind of started to turn, and he said that it went back to that place where it was that dark place he didn't understand.
Yeah.
And he was saying that kind of in that moment he just said to himself that like, and this too, that more or less that this also is a part of life too. This nasty thing I'm saying, and he said that at that moment when he said "and this too," and he accepted how bad the trip was, he said that immediately it turned into something beautiful and it turned into something else.
It's interesting because I feel like there's a saying this. And this too shall pass, but like I feel like that's like
there is that.
So it's interesting though because and this too maybe it's like eats all that and maybe like it shall pass, but no, but also this too is part of it all.
Yes.
Find a positive in everything.
Yeah, yeah,
And
like this too is part of the human. This is part of it.
Even the scary
and
thing.
the fact that I went to this scary place is a part of the possibilities of existence, and knowing that that's not where I have to live, but that's there. But it's.
And just appreciate it because you can't change it.
Yeah.
You can't change any of it. You know, you can all you can do is just see it and all right, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was it. It
was good.
It's my recommendation.
Well, I guess it's been a good one.
Space travelers
and go
to carry on until next week.
Drive past a Chipotle and don't stop and eat there. Drive
I'll
past
have to bring up my thoughts next time on AI and no, not AI in the sense I've been talking about though. Just about the concept of man creating an AI. So like God creates man, right?
Yeah.
That's fine. So like God creates us, right? And so a lot of times people think about man creating AI, and AI is like our creation, right? Like if you like Prometheus, like if you've seen Prometheus or things, AI is towards like we create something and that's better than us, and so it kills us, right? If like. But so it's just interesting because of thinking, okay, from the idea of like tradition, I guess the God you described too, but God created, God, you know, I believe, you know, the God I believe in created man. So we create AI to try and facilitate and aid us and make others better, right? So it's not like we're gods to it. Where God created us literally just because he wanted like to have something to love and love him back, and choosing to love him, right? That's why he had free will, because he wanted like to be able to choose right and wrong and choose to love him or not, right? So, and I was just thinking, so we can get into that next time.
No, and it's funny you said that because I wanted to ask Matthew what he thought about AI and stuff. So,
yeah, no, there's man.
That's sick.
No, yes, it is.
Sick.
It's amazing.
and
it's amazing, and it's not amazing.
Yeah,
it's both.
It's sick when kept checked. When left unchecked,
that's the
thing.
That's the thing.
Knowing that line. If you don't,
the thing is, it exists. It existing is unchecked because it is something that there's nobody that knows exactly how it's working.
Yeah.
There's not like the designers of Meta or OpenAI, ChatGPT. There's not like engineers or software coders who know exactly how it's supposed to work. It's literally they're figuring out. It's a discovery. They're figuring out what it's capable of. So it's a created thing that has capabilities and functions that they don't even know yet. So that's why it's already an unchecked thing that they're trying to understand. So that's already what it is, and it sounds like science fiction.
Rip the human race. R.I.P.
That I mean, yeah, it's
Terminator is becoming a thing.
It's like so science fiction BS, but it's so close to real, man.
You can't call it science fiction anymore because it's no longer fiction. It's right before our very eyes.
I know it's a weird thing, but that to say, let's all have a good time, right? And
well.
Be seeing you.
Farewell, space travelers.
Yes.
Farewell.
Until then, a quiver of verisimilitudes.